Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. It is I, Luke Roberts, here in studio this evening. We're going to have a great night of professional wrestling conversation here. We'll be talking all things professional wrestling and so much more. Just that introduction said, we got a lot of great things going on here on the program. Again, as a reminder, make it a point to share out hashtag WTP, hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling, hashtag, as you see right there, like and share this broadcast as well. Tonight we're going to have a great program. You know something, wrestling has really kind of seen a resurgence as of late. I mean, again, we're going to be looking this weekend at AEW's Double or Nothing. We're also going to be talking about King and Queen of the Ring as well. A lot of great professional wrestling information on the local, national, and international level, just like we talk about each and every week here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. As you see right here, look at the bottom of the screen. Please make sure to share with your friends and family tonight. We're going to have a great program here. And speaking of which, having the Wrestle Talk Podcast is one of those situations where you can't go alone. And tonight, my broadcast colleague is one of those that has been steadfast to the Wrestle Talk Podcast for as long as I can remember. He is often the voice of the Wrestle Talk Podcast, and he's going to join me here tonight to provide yet another perspective in the world of professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him, the one and only, the Night Owl, Renee Martinez. And Renee, I know you're going to be channeling in here in just a moment.
Yo, que pasa, que pasa, que pasa, loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. As you guys already heard, we've got a jam-packed episode for you guys here on episode 483 of the WTP, baby. Man, I've been a little disconnected, so I'm going to need your help, Skywalker, as well as the help of all the illustrious members of the WTP family to kind of get me caught up, man. I've been in Phoenix back and forth dealing with some family things, dealing with some personal things. Some have been publicized, others have not. It's been a rough go for your boy the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to need you, Skywalker, and the rest of the members of the familia to kind of bring you up to speed, man. What have I missed? What's been going on? I kind of little snippets here, a little bit of highlights there. But as far as sitting and actually watching entire shows like I usually do, I always give people a hard time about being dirt sheet warriors. Nah, Skywalker, I'm the kind of guy that likes to sit and watch through the shows. That way I can speak intelligently on the podcast versus just watching snippets. But unfortunately, because of my circumstance, I've been forced to watch snippets, and I haven't seen it nearly enough. So can I count on you and the other members of the family to do two things? Number one, educate your boy. I'm here to learn. Number two, share the broadcast, comment, and if you got a good comment, you want to come on and join us, you might even walk away with some free swag. That's all I'm asking from y'all. I need y'all help.
Whoa. There's free swag too tonight?
There's always free swag, bro. I'm always feeling generous. I haven't been here for 2 weeks, so you know I got to give something away.
And right now, as you see, wow.
Already. And we'll get into that, AJ. We promise we'll bring that back up. We'll answer it. At this point, though, we've got some business to handle. Skywalker, you want to throw up those sponsors for me real quick so I can see if I can knock up some cobwebs here real fast?
Well, you know, as you're taking care of that night out, we do have to thank our sponsors, without whom the Wrestle Talk Podcast does not exist each and every week. So let me go ahead and I'll throw those up here on the screen to make sure we get all of our great sponsors here. We have, of course, Royal Mills Transportation with the CEO, Dewan Mills. We're going to be talking.
You covered on the sponsorship spot, man. You can take the middle of the show. Noble Biz Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri. Mad love to you guys. Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall. Interstate 70 Sports Media. And now you guys can probably start seeing his broadcast there more frequently, just like you can see I-70 here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast airwaves. Little Popeye Designs. I got something cooking with Little Popeye Designs. I don't necessarily want to let it out of the bag just yet. For those of you who have been following the Wrestle Talk Podcast and the FWWC, stay tuned. Big things are coming. And of course, you heard me mention it there. The one and only, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter, not your daddy's eFed. That's right. How'd I do, Skywalker? I was ready to go.
You did very good. So I think that's the first time we've officially we've ever tag teamed the Wrestle Talk Podcast sponsorship. And again, that's one of the things that makes the Wrestle Talk Podcast so great, is the idea that we know not only what our Wrestle Talk Podcast fans talking about, we also know those great sponsors, without whom each and every episode, it would become much harder to do. And, you know, as you said, Night Owl, tonight we got a lot of great info. And I'm a level with you here. As you're taking care of things, getting things set back up, getting things ready to rock and roll. And hold up, Night Owl. I know you're getting things ready.
Me?
We always talk about it. We always talk about it here on the program, but you got to share about where in the world, or I should say, what in the world that you are drinking your beverage of choice this evening from.
Well, seeing as the 4th of July is right around the corner, I'm supporting the greatest country of God's green earth, America, damn it, having an old-fashioned Miller Lite made in good old St. Louis, Missouri. That's right. Now, more importantly, the limited edition Wrestle Talk Podcast mug is in my hand, and on the other side of my desk, the currently available Wrestle Talk Podcast tumbler. So if you guys haven't had a chance to pick one up yet, $20 with our logo, $5 extra, we put your name on it, you cover the shipping, we have it to you, and it lasts a lifetime. Yeti quality tumbler. That's all I'm going to say. Yeti quality tumbler, if you guys are interested in that. But for today, I don't know, I felt like the glass, man. The glass just spoke to me today. Plus, it's got my name on it, too. You see what I'm saying? It says Night Out right there. I know y'all see it. Anyway, let me get back to business. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I get you, brother. I get you completely. And like I said, it's one of those where if you want to support the Wrestle Talk Podcast, make it a point to get one of those great items. All you got to do, catch us up on social media. We'll hook you up. We'll get you everything taken care of, just like we do each and every program. And Night Owl, I know you're taking care of some tech stuff, but tonight, I got to level with the fans here. This guest tonight, hands down, not only is in high demand, and we're very fortunate to have them on the program tonight, but also the idea where this man has just gone by leaps and bounds. And I'm going to tell you right now, with everything going on, I mean, we talked about Double or Nothing. We talked about King and Queen of the Ring. We talked about last week with the retirement of Jeremy Lightfoot this past weekend at May Day. And I'm going to tell you right now.
Phenomenal show you guys had last week. I can't wait to hear more about what happened on Saturday.
Well, and to give you an idea, too, if you haven't had an opportunity, not only does Wrestle Talk Podcast have updated information about that on social media, but also you can check out our friends over at I-70 Sports Media. I do believe, and again, for the record, just like ECW, may not necessarily have certain licensure of the music, but when it comes down to it, if you want to see just a true gut reaction of the fans as Jeremy Lightfoot made his way to the ring for the final time, make it a point. Interstate 70 Sports Media. You can catch him up through the Wrestle Talk podcast YouTube account as well. A great opportunity to see. Hands down, I got to say, doing commentary at that event, I'm a level with you. It gave me goosebumps. I've still got goosebumps, and I'm talking about it right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I just had my son walk in here, and he knows I haven't done the show in a little while, and he gave me the old thumbs up because he loves seeing his old man back at it. I can only imagine the Lightfoot family, bro, watching the old man, the patriarch of the family currently walk out and really do it his way. You know that old Frank Sinatra song, I Did It My Way? I mean, that's what comes to mind for me when I think somebody that's that in tune with their culture. I obviously love the homage that he always pays to his Native American roots. And let me tell you something, man, this dude has planted them so deep that they will continue to grow in the Midwest, not just St. Louis, forget just St. Louis. They will continue to grow throughout the Midwest and beyond for years to come. The future is bright for the Lightfoot family, man. What an incredible thing. What an incredible thing to happen overall, and the fact that there were fans there, packed to the rafters, and we were all able to kind of see it via social media as well. Absolutely wonderful. So make sure you guys go up, make it a point to go out and check out CHWA's YouTube channel. I believe that's where we can see it, right, Skywalker?
That is true. And like I said, I know Interstate 70 had the video of the entrance as well. And I'm going to tell you, when we talk a little bit more about that in the high spot segment, and I know, and I'm a level with the fans, it's 100% my doing. But I'm going to tell you right now, the amount of people, and I'm a level with you, all the things that happened between Lightfoot and Angelo Grimsley, you've had an opportunity to talk to Lightfoot. I've had an opportunity to talk to Lightfoot. Chris Rodell has talked with Lightfoot. Our good friend Gabriel Arsene tried to talk to Lightfoot, but I don't know how well that went over when he called him lightweight. But again, it's one of those where when it comes down to it, Gabriel made amends for it.
He's our young boy. He's our young boy. He's going to make mistakes. This is what we expect. The young lion. He's the
That's
young
true.
lion.
That is true, Night Owl. That is true. So, but we got a lot to talk about here. We got high spots still to come here tonight. But before we do, I know you're thinking 3 steps ahead, Night Owl. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, get ready because we had tag team high spots. We're now going to do something that we take care of each and every week here on this program to pay homage to all of our fighting men and women, to pay homage to all of those first responders, all of whom take care of us each and every week. So things like the Wrestle Talk podcast exist for all of you, the loyal members of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. At this time, as the Night Owl has things ready, and Night Owl, you know where I'm going with this. At this point, please remove your caps, put your hands over your heart. And Night Owl, as we say each and every week, it's time for us to pay homage
to the greatest country on God's green earth, and that's America, damn it. Hit it. Are we going to get some Roseanne? What's happening? There she is. Prep myself a little. Okay. She's right about one thing, Skywalker. Home of the brave, whoever has to sit through that crap every single week. What's the line, bro? Give me the line.
It brings a tear to our eye each and every week. And ladies and gentlemen, again, as we know very well, at Night Owl, I got to throw this one up here. I just saw this from our good friend Tyler Cooley. It's just like old times, my friend. It is just like old times here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Now, Night Owl, you were talking about things earlier on, man, but I know that you're certain things you want to kind of talk about, don't want to talk about, but I got to ask you, with all the travel, I mean, you have basically been a jet setter the last couple weeks. And I'm going to tell you right now, the world of professional wrestling, there's been so much stuff going on. We're going to talk about during the high spot segment right before our interview, had an opportunity to see Big Jim Harris, the I guess you would say the CEO of the Independent St. Louis Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Jimmy checks in with us every week here on the podcast too, by the way.
Yep, very true. I mean, we had that going on. We also had the SICW Fan Fest 2. And we have some one of our great
talk about that.
And we had AJ Wallace talk about it too. So, I mean, it's from top to bottom, whether you're talking local, national, international, this is what makes the Wrestle Talk podcast such a great program each and every week. And you know what? Pardon me for that. Also, with our good broadcast colleague, Tyler Cooley, we talk about the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. He is the MC, the master of ceremonies for that event in June here in the St. Louis area. And again, it's going to be a great opportunity. I spoke with him. Matter of fact, just spoke with him right before we went on the air. And he is just counting the days and just looking at some of the names that are going to be going in this year. Really, and again,
one of the best interviews we've done in 2024, the Tyler Cooley interview. I know we got some heat for bringing him on. People had some opinions and stuff like that, and that's fine. It's America, damn it. But man, we could not have been more on the ball about bringing this kid on, only because we know it's just going to be a couple of years and he's going to be the next Justin Roberts. This kid will be, the next Bobby Heenan or whatever it is that he decides to do in the World Pro Wrestling. He's going to be a damn rock star. So the fact that we got Cooley on early, well, you know what I'm saying? We got him before the price goes up, because you know what they say. Today's price is not yesterday's price. Today's different. Yeah, so shout out to the young legend, man. Keep doing your thing, stay humble. And rule number 1, don't ever disrespect the Night Owl. Otherwise, you're going to be great. That's why I'm playing with you, bro. That's my young buck right there. A lot of love for the homie, man. Facts.
Well, you know something, Night Owls, we talk about pro wrestling. I mean, again, there's so much going on. And hitting the double biceps 15 minutes into the show.
You got me.
The Night Owls home.
That LF&G got me going, baby. I was like, yo, let's go. Yeah, that's why I got to keep the young lions around me, bro. They keep me feeling young. I know what skirt means. I know I know all this because I keep the youngsters around me, bro. So it's important for me to stay in tune with the young fellas.
Well, one thing that you're going to have to throw out there, and again, I'm not with it, but I'm just going to level. One of the biggest reactions I see in pro wrestling is when main event Jey Uso comes to the ring. Yeah, and I got to say that definitely goes there. And Jay Hollywood checking in. He was all around the world this past weekend as well, talking about pro wrestling. I mean, again, this is what makes the podcast so great. We have so many great people from all across the country checking in. And again, make sure to share with your friends and your family. We're going to have a great interview here in hour number 2. But we're also, and you know what, Night Owl, I'm going to go ahead and make sure we've got everything ready to rock and roll here. I'm going to go ahead and throw up because it's time for us to get things ready. So I'm going to go ahead here.
You're going to throw up? Well, don't
I'm not going to throw up. I'm not going to throw up. We're good.
Throw up, bro.
But as we're going to look at right here, and of course now I'm kind of taking care of things. It's
lot of yeet going on. Yeet. A lot of yeet. I like it.
Well, if we're getting that taken care of, Night Owl, you can keep it going. As we bring up DJ Money, it's time for High Spots. So we're going to go ahead. I want to see if you can rock and roll with this. So let's go ahead. You're going to do your best Jey Uso impression. I'm going to hit the DJ Money for the High Spots, and away we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time, once again, for the High Spot segment.
Mic check.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like Blaire Dior. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop and non-stop like a runner speeches of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and back drops. On the clock flash, look like a barely fly, now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast. Now they know we about to start the show.
Hey. That's so good it could be the intro to the show, bro. And it's not even it's the intro to a segment. That's how good we got it around here, bro. We are blessed, brother. Blessed.
Most definitely. Again, if you need anything in the world of pro wrestling, DJ Money's your guy. Make it a point to check him out online, or you send us a message to the Wrestle Talk Podcast and we'll get you hooked up, whether it's music, graphics, designs, t-shirts, you name it. DJ Money's your guy. Make it a point. Give a shout out to DJ Money here each and every week on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. You know something? We're going to go ahead, Night Owl, and I know there's not necessarily a graphic. We talked about it at the top of the show, and I want to go ahead and I want to throw this one back up here because I think it's very important that we discuss this here before we even get to a true high spot statement. We've got to go back to AJ Wallace. Again, the idea of Attila Khan and Stephen E. disrespectfully shipping the trophy to Dubai and flat out disrespecting our good friend Barbara Goodish. I'm going to tell you right now.
Before we get into this one, let me address something else that Aaron Wallace keeps talking about. And I'm going to be brief. Okay. He keeps talking about Dig Douglas. Okay. I'm going to deliver this message, and AJ, let it be the last time that you tag this man. Leave him alone. Stop harassing the dude. I'm going to speak on it very, very briefly. Then we're going to move on. We have no personal beef with Dig Douglas. I love Dig Douglas. Pause. Dick Douglas decided that he was ready to move on from the Wrestle Talk podcast. Did he give us enough notice? Was it done properly? I won't go into those things. What I will say is, if he ever would like to come back as a guest or as a host, it all starts with a conversation extending of the olive branch. Is there any ill will, anger, any sort of jealousy or resentment? Heck no, because we all got to do what's best for us. But AJ, thank you for advocating for us and calling Dick Douglas out constantly. But at this point, if the dude wants to come back and have a conversation, that door is forever open. See, people think the Night Owl likes to burn bridges and close doors. Nothing is the opposite. The difference between me and most people is if you want to walk through the door across the bridge with me, you got to live up to a certain standard of integrity and genuine honesty. If you can't meet those requirements, I'm sorry, we can't do business together. But as far as Dick Douglas goes, all it takes is a phone call. Otherwise, you can just leave that one alone, AJ, because you're beating a dead horse. And I'll leave it at that. Go ahead,
Night Owl,
I wanted to clear that up, bro, because they.
I get you. And that's one of the things that is great about the program is the idea that we don't always see eye to eye. There are times when you and I don't agree. Ourselves and Big Hoss don't agree. And as you see here, Night Owl keeping it real, keeps it real. Again, one of the things that's big about this is we are not exclusive. We make it a point where if there's something that's on your mind, come talk to us. The line of communication is open. As they say, communication is always a two-way street. And when it comes down to it, if you got something on your mind, if you disagree with the topic, if you disagree with our point of view, get in contact with us.
It's all good. We don't mind.
Yeah. It's one of those, we can get things taken care of each and every week here on the program. Now, Night Owl, I'm not going to bring AJ's comment back up here because I know we talked about it before. It's the idea. I don't want to just talk about the disrespect to the Bruiser Brody Memorial Trophy. I want to look at it from a perspective of just the fan fest as a whole.
Can I mention it? Can I mention my thoughts about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Anytime Attila Khan, Stephen E., any of these sort of people are involved, you kind of know what you're going to get. And listen, water would not be as refreshing without thirst. The sun wouldn't be as illuminating without darkness. You can't have the white meat baby faces of the world and not expect to have the dirty, nasty slimeball heels of the world. Who was honored at this SICW event, right? It was Gary Jackson. Gary Jackson got a lot of people got recognized, but there has to be a contrast to Gary Jackson. What's the contrast to Gary Jackson? And Attila Khan. So as much as you love Gary and all the great things that he does, you're always going to have the other side of the coin. Now, do I like what he did? Do I respect it, sending it all the way to Dubai? Absolutely not. But what the hell do you expect from a guy named Attila Khan who rides around with a guy named Steven Espinoza, but he wears one of those turban gimmicks? Listen, I don't know. I don't have any real explanations as to why he's Latino with a turban. My point is this. You gotta know when it's coming. And when it comes to being down and dirty, very few do it better than a guy like Attila Khan. And I don't mean dirty as in a cheater. What I mean is he's going to rake your damn eye out if you give him the opportunity. He's going to take your little trophy. He's going to ship it to Abu Dhabi if you give him the opportunity. For a moment there, I thought it was an episode of Garfield and that the trophy was Odie. So I'm just hoping it gets sent back.
Well, you know something, Night Owl? I'm just going to level with you.
Go ahead.
In the world of Garfield, that would be a normal moment.
A normal. Yeah, that's right. Shipping, yeah, you're right. I think he's trying to send Odie too, though.
Yeah, it could be. And again, but I mean, if you look at the whole SICW Fan Fest, from top to bottom, it was a great weekend. I mean, again, our broadcast colleagues over at Interstate 70 were there. Falls Count Everywhere were there. I mean, countless people that are very well associated with the Wrestle Talk podcast were in the house. And I'm going to tell you right now, from top to bottom, I mean, there were names upon names in the Fan Fest. Friday night, Bill Apter came in for his one-man show. And you made a reference here earlier, Night Out, about without a Gary Jackson, there's not a balance of that Attila Khan and Stephen E. I look at it a little bit differently. And that being Gary Jackson and the one and only the ace, Cowboy Bob Orton. And he was recognized this past weekend along with Gary Jackson, a man who, matter of fact, Night Owl, I know that you've been trying to keep up on it. It's going to be recognized this year at the Cauliflower Alley Club as well. Big shout out, big props to Gary Jackson, the gorgeous one, Night Train, however you want to identify with him over the course of his career. But you also had, and I just want to kind of level here. When you have not only Cowboy Bob Orton in the house, but he's inducted by his own family, including, as you see at the bottom of the screen, the Viper Randy Orton. That right there gives the Fan Fest and gives that Hall of Fame such a huge boost. And I had an opportunity to talk to my broadcast colleague, Dr. Drew Abenhouse. I've talked with Herb Simmons. And this is one of those things that when you get to go out there and you see it, I mean, it's been covered by everybody. I mean, it had an opportunity. Slam Wrestling has had several pieces on it. I know Review STL has had stories about it. This was a hot ticket this week. And I got to say, from top to bottom, if you weren't able to make SICW's Fan Fest, you definitely missed out. But you know what? If you don't make it there, surprisingly enough, if that wasn't a hot ticket in St. Louis, you had CHWA's Mayday. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you look at it, the Native Nightmare, Jeremy Lightfoot, third generation in the wrestling business. And I'm going to tell you right now, Night Owl, when you go out there and you see Jeremy Lightfoot competing for the last time, his father, Doc Lombardi, getting involved in the matchup, the next generation of the Lightfoots, that being Matty Monarch and Austin Lightfoot, were involved. A triple, not one, not two, but a triple Lightfoot driver in the ring during the matchup. And I'm a level with you, Night Owl. We don't talk shade. We don't give anybody grief. We love and respect everything in the world of professional wrestling.
Each other, mostly.
But you know something? I'm a level. I had the opportunity to be guest commentator at Mayday. And Angelo Grimsley, the fairy tale villain, had the nerve to shout a rather less than nice comment towards yours truly at the announce table, because I said, based on what I had seen, and I told everybody how it was going to be. I felt in my heart, in my brain of 30 plus years of being in the wrestling industry, just like our good friend Herb Simmons checking in again here tonight on the program. I said last week on the program, I felt right now, based on everything I had seen, I thought it was Lightfoot 2 straight. And Angelo Grimsley proved me wrong. And I appreciate that. If you're going to go out there and make a statement, prove me wrong. But I could have lived without him throwing those disparaging remarks towards me, towards the Wrestle Talk podcast, towards a truly heartfelt moment.
What did he say?
He dropped some language. And a matter of fact, if you get an opportunity,
our podcast was trash. Is that what he said?
No, he dropped some, as we always talk about, back in the day, back when we were very early in our program. We don't make any qualms about some of the language that our hosts and our guests use.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, all I'm going to say is this, Night Owl. It's one of those where Angelo Grimsley took a shot at the program, but I'll tell you this. At the end of the match, he was a man of his word. He gave Lightfoot his respect. And any man, and I'll say this, our broadcast colleague, Chris Rodell, was ringside. You've watched Jeremy Lightfoot matches, and you know how devastating his chop is.
That boy goes in.
At the end of the match is done, match is finished. We're talking about a great career. Angelo Grimsley asks for another. Tommy Dreamer, ECW. He takes that chop, and he does not stay in the ring. He heads out in record time. But a man that'll stand up and take care of that gets props with me. And again, hopefully in the weeks to come, we will have the fairy tale villain Angelo Grimsley here on the program. But I'm going to tell you right now, St. Louis wrestling has been firing on all cylinders here, and I know for a fact we're going to have a lot of great.
Whoa! Hold on. Enough of this. Kansas City wrestling. Hold on now. Are we going to do this, Skywalker? You had to do the St. Louis thing, didn't you? No, that's fine. That's fine. Well, guess what? KCXW killing. Fountain City killing. Tri-States killing. Bro, y'all ain't the only ones killing right now. I'm gonna need my respect. You understand me? That's why Moses be out here. That's why Camaro Jackson be out here. That's why what's help me the Davey Vega and his partner. Help me the name.
Grindhouse?
No, it was Davey Vega and his other partner.
Matt Fidget.
Yeah, what was their team? Not
Besties.
The besties in the world, right? Exactly. That's why all the St. Louis guys, they come over here and they already know what's happening. So I'm not gonna let you spend the first quarter of the show, rubbing off St. Louis, and I'm not gonna get my Kansas City shots off, okay? Because I'm gonna need my respect. We're talking about the beginning of the show and how crazy it was, bro. We would never be able to talk Kansas City wrestling 8 years ago, 10 years ago. We started doing this, okay? If it wasn't for KCXW, if it wasn't for Metro, if it wasn't for NWO and other progression, Journey Pro, everybody else that we've seen, I wouldn't be able to stand toe to toe with you. But I think in 2024, Skywalker, Kansas City wrestling is standing toe to toe with basically everybody in the region, even good old St. Louis.
Well, you know something, Night Owl? I'm going to put something out here that's going to cool your jets here a little bit.
All right.
And I want to talk about this. It's something that's going to bridge the gap, so to speak. Stormy Renee.
Yo, shout out to MAM. Shout out to you, brother.
And as we talk about what's here,
yeah, bro.
Stormy Renee making an opportunity to going up to Canada and competing. She not only is setting the Kansas City scene on fire, not only setting the Midwest on fire, been here holding championship gold here in St. Louis. And I'm a level with you, Night Owl.
Hey, member of the Wrestle Pod's family. Let's be clear.
She's been on Raw.
Yep.
I believe she's been on SmackDown. She's been to Canada now. She's in high demand. And that's one of the things as we kind of bridge the gap here. The wrestling here in the bi-state in the Midwest is on fire. And again, you talk about Kansas City, I talk about St. Louis. Gabriel Arsene talks about Florida and MLW. We get lots of promotions from Big Hoss. I mean, we get lots of great
Panhandle, that whole area up there, Philly, Baltimore, Maryland, West Virginia. We're all over the place, baby. That's why they mad at us, bro. You think they mad at us because we don't talk about the same 6 promotions every week? Is that why they mad? I don't know. But I know one thing that is like a feather in my cap, Skywalker, the fact that we've been able to interview at least one representative from every single state in this union, plus about 20 different countries have been represented over 483 episodes here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Now, am I bragging? No. But if you ask me to give you my stats, that's the stats.
That is true, Night Owl. And like I said, we're going to have plenty more guests on the way to 500. But you know something? We still got, and this is crazy as it sounds here, we haven't even broken the surface of professional wrestling. So let's go ahead here through the wonderful world of technology as it is. And I know you're getting a chance to get a drink of your beverage, but it's time for everybody's favorite randomizer. And here we go.
I'm ready.
We're going to start.
I'll read it off for you if you want to look for that overlay. Okay, High Spots question number 1. Using our world famous super kick rating system, that's 1 out of 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. How would you rate, I think we got an overlay for this. How would you rate Braun Breaker's Raw debut? Again, based on what you saw using our super kick rating system, 5-1, how would you rate Braun Breaker's Monday Night Raw debut? Skywalker, let's let you go ahead and take that one first.
Well, as we've got our overlay here on the program, I'm going to say this right now, and you're going to be shocked here, Night Owl.
Okay.
I'm going to level with you. My view, 1.5 super kicks.
Whoa! Say that again? Say that
1.5. 1.5.
Wow.
Fucking bullshit!
Uh-oh.
And before the Iron Sheik gets all temperamental with us, and again, shout out to the legendary Iron Sheik. I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's why. Number one, watching Raw last night. To me, I think he made more of an impact going after Ricochet than his match could have ever done. I think it was one of those where the individual he was competing with from the very beginning, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who gets inside the squared circle, because we talked about before, Monday Night Raw, the 1-2-3 Kid defeating Razor Ramon, the ever popular, for those, this may be a dated reference, but Mulkey Mania back in the 80s. Gilbert. But to me, something about Braun Breaker's debut, so to speak, on the main roster, I'm gonna tell you right now, I just was not impressed. I know that Braun Breaker's capable of great things, and I agree here with it. Some people may use that term. I personally don't, because I feel anybody's got a chance on any given day to get a win or a loss inside the squared circle.
Oh,
but
Skywalker, stop it. Does she have to say enhancement talent? Is that bothering you that much? Is it really that big of a deal that she's not saying enhancement talent? We all know what she means by that. She's not trying to be disrespectful. You know it, and I know
she's not being disrespectful, Night Owl, but it's one of those where, to me, anybody that gets in the ring, I don't even want to use the term enhancement talent. Anybody that gets in that ring, and I remember I've talked with Herb Simmons about it. I talked about it with the folks at CHWA. I've talked about it with people at MMWA, at Dynamo Pro. I had an opportunity with KCXW in the past. A lot of different promotions. It just comes down to the idea of where there could have been more. And I think right now, are they going to build to it? Yeah. But just to me, something about the whole situation just fell flat with me. I don't know what it was. But it felt kind of, it just kind of felt, man.
Okay, why? Okay, let me create some restraints so that I think you can answer the question a little bit more the way it was meant, because I still need a rating. Okay, shout out to Subway. We're happy to take a sponsorship. We promise we won't make you regret it. Jared from Subway. Anyway, okay, back to focus. Okay, so here's what I mean. Considering the parameters that he was given, because he didn't get to choose a jobber. He didn't get to choose what part of the show. He didn't get to choose what was going to happen immediately after the match. Somebody dictated that to him. So considering that it was dictated to him, how do you think he did? 1 out of 5 super kicks.
I'm going to stay with 1.5 super kicks.
So you think he botched what they gave him?
No, I think it's one of those where there was just something. And again, I agree with you, Night Owl. I genuinely do. You don't know from week to week where you're going to be on a program, what television time you're going to get. And did he do what he could? Yes. But there was just so many things that, to me, just did not add up here. I mean, again, I would have rather seen something along the lines, we know what Braun Breaker can do. He's a wrecking machine. It's that simple. When you have a family lineage of the Steiners, come on.
That's right. And what are the Steiners known for? Grace and elegance?
No.
Then what were you expecting? We talked about Attila Khan. You got to know what you're going to get. What did you think? You think he was going to come out there and give you some sort of soliloquy? What were you expecting, Skywalker?
Well, first of all, you're throwing out there soliloquy. 15 points for that one.
Let's go, that really baby.
It's quite.
Don't ask me to spell it though.
Well, but I mean, when you sit here and you look at it, though, Night Owl, I mean, it's just something about the whole thing. I mean, am I going to say that Braun Breaker is not going to be a future main event player on Raw? No, I think Braun Breaker is going to be in that upper tier. I really do. But it's just something to me about the whole thing that just something didn't add up to me. I mean, again, you talk about that it factor. And just to me,
Kale.
It just didn't seem like
it was Kale. Or seriously, how do we think this is going to go?
But it just something didn't add up to me, Night Owl. And you and I have had plenty of conversations, and it's just one of those things of where it just does not add up. And I'm hoping that as we go farther and farther along and all the issues we saw with him and Ricochet, that intrigues me. I think that's one of those where if you want to give him the right platform to really make a statement on Raw, that's your platform.
Okay. And
but
I have somebody that wants to make a statement, by the way, that wants to join the conversation, but please finish. No, you
by all means, Night Owl. I want to hear another point of view. I really do. Because to me, that's what makes the program so good. And like I said,
I got my take on it.
Give me some thoughts.
I'll go last, but hey, Mills, you know, the only thing I'm gonna ask you, bro, is prop that sucker up. If you're trying to hold it, it ain't gonna work. You already know. I bet that's my guy. Okay, I'm gonna go last on this because my partner, we don't always see eye to eye. Like you and I talked about this, bro. We don't gotta see eye to eye on everything to be friends and acquaintances and business partners. This is a guy I don't really see eye to eye with on a lot of things, but somehow we've managed to manufacture together the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. He's going to come on and talk to us for a few minutes about that. Things pertaining not necessarily to the card, but to him. Big, big news coming. But he wants to jump in on this topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Royal Mills Transportation himself, a man has always been loyal and hardworking as anybody I ever met, the one and only, the CEO, Dewan Mills.
Boy, it's been a while since I've been on camera. Man, can you,
miss you, doggy.
I think I might have gained 10 pounds since I've been. Have a lot of free time,
the
dog.
Camera adds it. The camera adds it. Well, you read the question, Mills. We'll listen.
Yes,
we'll get to the pleasantries in a second, but you were demanding. You said, hey, home of the champs. I need to get on right now and voice my opinion on this topic. And you can pull that card because you are in the home of the champs. So talk to us, man. What is this Braun Breaker thing? 1 out of 5 super kicks. Lay it out for us.
I'm kind of on the same kick you on, Night Owl. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, when anybody makes their debut on Raw, number one, they got to make them look strong. Now, I know Monday, it might have been a little bit excessive, let's be honest. But, I mean, that's just the way Braun Breaker's being built. My whole thing is, as always, what's the payoff? You know, what is all this leading to? Everything has to make sense. Like, yes, I understand he's a powerhouse and he's kicking everybody's ass and he's doing some wild shit and hitting people with steel steps and all other crazy stuff. We get that. But to Luke Skywalker's point, you know, and to my point, what's the payoff? Like at the end of it, at the end of whipping everybody's ass, what is this going to benefit not only his character, but his run in WWE on the main roster? That's my take on it, if I'm being honest.
Strong.
And CEO, hold on, Night Out. He brought up another good point that was there and kind of get why I'm looking at it. He went out there and he demolished, as we said earlier, Kale Jackson is the name. But when we look at it, it's the idea of, I can see if he goes out there, he picks the guy up, he throws him around the ring, he bounces about 7 or 8 times, he gets hit with a big move, and that's that. I get it. But where do you go from taking a steel chair, you wedge the guy's head in the steps, and then you hit him in the head with a steel chair, basically committing assault? That's not squared circle. That's just showing viciousness. That's going out there and showing just ill will. And again, I thank you, CEO. And again, I agree. I think we're both in agreement. Braun Breaker has everything to be a top tier guy. He really does. And we have a lot of comments talking about a Braun Strowman. I can see a lot of the same things. And Braun Strowman had that huge deal. But there was just something about a comparison here. Braun Breaker, when he went out there, he went out there, boom, 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 that was it. You got a couple things, and that was it. Just something about how this was presented just didn't click with me. He's going to be a main event guy, but this didn't really seem like it set him off on the right foot.
Well, I mean, and not to cut anybody off, man, there's always a transitional period, if you guys has noticed that. And there needs to be one. What I really don't like is when they throw, and here's where I think most guys' character dies, is when they just throw them on the main roster, no real plans, no real, structure and timeline of how we're going to, build this guy up in these storylines and fit this guy in the storyline. There has to be some kind of transitional period. And this might be the transitional period. Setting up to be a monster, this might be it. Dig what I'm saying? This might be, okay, he's going to do the same. I don't know. He might throw a guy off. He might go 2K4 next week and throw him off the damn balcony in the backstage. And, I go on the video game, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a transitional period for Braun Breaker to set him up for whatever the hell they got going on. Here's all I know. In Triple H, we trust. Or should I say, Paul Levesque. Ever since he's taken over and ever since, there's been the new deals on Raw and SmackDown, it's been an amazing show. So I'm at the points where, I got to trust this guy. I just got to trust what I see. And if it's shit, it's shit. We all know what happens when it's shit. We know Pretty Deadly. That's pretty much shit. hate to say it, but, keep it real. They're trying to do something with the Creed brothers. It's just a lot of irons in the fire. So let's see what happens.
I've been biting my tongue. I swear.
Come on, dog. Come on.
Bring it, Night Owl.
Come on.
I never do this, but y'all got me so worked up.
I'm gonna mute myself because I don't want no distractions. I'm muted. 1, 2, 3, mute.
Okay. First, allow me to do this. I want y'all to go back and listen to yourselves. Oh, hey, Gorgeous. My niece. Both of you guys hinted at, and it was just brief, that what Braun Breaker did may have been a little excessive. Mr. New Japan Wrestling himself, Luke Roberts, and Mr. ECW fanboy, CEO Mills, are talking about this is a little bit too much, but y'all are the same ones complaining about I'm tripping all over myself here because it's so ridiculous. You guys are, I don't even know what to do with you two people, okay? It's just that simple. You guys are hypocrites and you're liars, okay? Because you two, and I can go back and find the show. I've heard you individually talk about the redundancy of the product, and then when they bring somebody out and let him have like a Shield type moment, you're mad and you want to nitpick it because it didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. Though, based on what we've seen from Braun, this is what you're going to get. He's unorthodox. He stumbles over himself constantly, and that spray tan. Oh my gosh, Mr. Dior is going to be with us here a little bit later. And I know Blaire's going to be able to speak on the fact that you got to look a certain way when you go out there. And when your tan is that effing bad, you got to postpone it for the next week. Bro, that
mine doesn't come off. Sorry.
Bad, bro. This dude looked worse than Trumpito. My man looked like a damn parking cone out there on Monday night. And whoever's idea it was to put him out there looking like a damn parking cone, crushing some dude named Kale, it just makes no sense. It's got y'all so confused that you're contradicting yourselves, and it's freaking hilarious. I'm glad you muted yourself, Mills, because I know you're probably laughing, and I can see it in your face. It's just ridiculous, okay? Now, second thing, DeJuan, you never gave us a rating. We have a super kick rating system, 1 to 5. 5 is the best, 1 is the worst. Skywalker said 1.5 for Braun Breaker's debut. You guys are already dictating this guy's future after one show. It's fine. I understand. What is your super kick rating before I actually give you my opinion on it? Because y'all gave me so much to talk about before I even told y'all how I feel about it that I couldn't help myself.
We'll give it a 3, man.
3 out of 5. Okay.
Right.
I don't know if that really lines up with everything you said. I would have thought you were more like at 2, or 2.5, but.
Well, got to be fair.
Skywalker had a 1.5. Okay. So here's where I start to sound like a little bit of a hypocrite. I agree. He's boring. It's uninspiring. It looks clunky. The tan was bad. He was fighting a guy named Kale. And it really doesn't lead you to what's coming next. This isn't one of those like cliffhangers that I'm like, I wonder what they're going to do with him next. I'm more like, gosh, I really wonder what they're going to do with him next. So all of that nonsense that I started off with aside, because I do feel like you guys were the same people that were like saying we want more brutality, more rawness, and Triple H we trust. And then all of a sudden, Braun Breaker comes out, looks a little clunky, and now it's a little bit too much for y'all. I wish you guys would make up your mind. You sound just like the people on the IWC on Twitter and X or whatever, okay? So just make sure that you know this is recorded and people are watching. Because, again, Mr. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Mr. Hardcore ECW guy down here, okay, are the first ones to tell you that Braun Breaker went too far.
Well, Night Owl, I'm gonna stop you here for a minute.
All right.
And you can use the H word of hypocritical, but there's a difference between and you yourself just made reference to it. When you get to the WWE, you need to be the complete package. And again, that's another reason why, to me, it stood out as not adding up. Now, you mentioned, of course, the Shield, a great three-man unit of faction. And when they came out, they basically left everybody laying. But when you saw them, you knew that there was something there. When you look at, and again, I can't believe I'm going to use this as an example after coming after the Shield, but the Nexus, DX, the NWO, the Four Horsemen.
Okay.
You know full well when they come out and you see the complete package, you know that they're not somebody you want to mess with. And am I saying that Braun Breaker's not? No, he'd break me in half, no pun intended, in about 7 seconds. I would probably last about 8 seconds shorter inside the ring than our good friend Cale Johnson did. But something about the whole presentation just doesn't sit with me. And I mean, again, he's going to be something. He is.
Ryback?
But for a first starting
Did it
point,
be Ryback?
ooh,
Is this what we're looking at?
Damn.
Gentlemen, let's get to the brass tacks here.
Oh, God.
Let's get to the brass tacks.
No.
This is the question that I had to reverb from Luke Skywalker. Dewan, I'm not asking you whether you think the guy is the next Ric Flair or not. What I'm saying is, how do you think he did with what they gave him? Because you and I know he didn't pick Johnny Jobber. He didn't pick what part of the show he was going to come out in. Somebody dictated that to him. So considering what they gave him, the tan aside, because that, for me, that alone gets him a red check mark, because that is ridiculous, bro. Bro, if you don't got this, bro, if you don't got this, hey, go on, tell him. If you don't got this, bro, I'm sorry, bro. Not all of us can be Beyonce, okay? If you don't got the, just stop it. Just cut it out. Though I'll give ladies an excuse because, you know, but if you don't got it, you don't got it, dog. Ride what you vibe, bro. Vibe what you ride.
Gotcha.
I'm just, hey, listen, don't try so hard, dog. You're not built like that. Stop trying.
Okay, so for what they gave him, yes, I'll give. He did a good job on that. For what they gave him and what was presented to him, and go out there and do it. Like, again, I said before earlier today, coachable, teachable. He did a great job. I'll say that.
Respect. Okay. So your super kick rating is a 3. Skywalker, you're at a 1.5.
5.
Okay. And I'm going to be right at 2. I'm going to be 2.5, somewhere in there. I thought it was clunky. I thought it was rushed. I didn't like the Johnny Jobber. Now, here's what gives me hope. First, it was Johnny Jobber. So I know you don't like that term, enhancement talent. Then it was Ricochet. So let's see how far up the ladder this goes. Who knows? Who could be next? Anybody could be a target. So if it continues to build and ascend in a way, and he starts to settle in a little bit, maybe we're going to be looking at something. My thing is, you got to keep this dude from doing the Brock Lesnar yell. Because it doesn't come across well. When he starts talking loud, bro, that's why Rick Steiner, bro, is nostalgia. You know, generic, common wrestling fans don't like that, bro. They like John Cena and The Rock, and they like people that talk real well and sound a certain way. That's why the Steiners are such like underground legends to us, right? Like, Goldberg, that'd be a hell of a step up from Ryback. But my point is, like, the dude can only work with what he's got. and they're thrusting him. It looks like they're going to be thrusting him to the top of the card. And I just don't know if he's got here as far as the mic skills and then the charisma. That's really like, I've heard people say a lot of critical things about Bobby Lashley. I happen to be a huge fan, but I can't ignore what Chris Rodell always says. Bobby Lashley is a walking charisma vacuum. When he steps in the room, I mean, and I hate to say that because I love Lashley. Tez got that vibe. There's a lot of guys that got that vibe. But my thing is, when you come on camera and you're not intriguing and not engaging, I don't care whose ass you're kicking. If you're not entertaining to watch, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to tolerate it. So my score, I'm going to go ahead and settle at about a 2.5. That's where I'm going to settle.
Well, Night Owl, one thing I think we're all in agreement on with this, and I'm just going to level it. We all think that there realistically is potential there. It wasn't necessarily the first thing we had, and you bring back the I guess you would call it the Roman Reigns effect, the John Cena effect. Keep pushing somebody down our throats until we're going to like them one way or another. One thing I think we're all in agreement is this next statement does not apply to Ryback, but to apply to Braun Breaker.
Never drew a dime. Not a dime. Not a dime.
Okay, listen. We sponsor spot here in a minute.
Yeah.
I know you're going to handle some business, so I want you to get ready because I got a couple of questions for you. Skywalker, you mind taking care of that sponsor spot for us, and we'll get right into it with the CEO with a little bit of FWC business?
Oh, most definitely. But you know something? I just kind of have this in my mindset. Before we go to the sponsors, as our great friend, the one, the only, the late Lord Alfred Hayes would say,
consideration paid for by the following. Promotional.
And you know what? As we say here, we talk about all of our great sponsors who without whom the Wrestle Talk podcast doesn't function each and every week. Want to thank our wonderful Royal Mills Transportation with the CEO right here in the house. If you need transportation, you need wheels all throughout the greater Kansas City area, check him out. Nobleman's Barber Lounge, Kansas City. Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall. Our good friends over at Interstate 70 Sports Media with the maestro Jeremy Cart. Little Popeye Design, some of those great Wrestle Talk podcast tumblers. If you haven't bought one, you need to make sure to check us out and get one of those for your very own. And the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, we're going to talk about FWWC here for just a minute. But, guys, I'm just going to flat out say it here. I'm intrigued a little bit. And Night Owl, you mentioned it earlier on tonight. I want to see how this conversation goes. I really do. Because I know in the world of the FWWC, as they say, everything is not sunshine when you're talking about the FWWC. And with the two of you, you don't see eye to eye all the time. But I want to see how this is going to roll out. So
I got it from here, Skywalker. I got you.
I want to see how this is.
All right. Well, Mr. Mills, I think it's been a long time coming for us to sit down and have this conversation. Let me fill everybody in very briefly. So Dewan and I co-own the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. You can find us on X Communities. All you got to do is follow me. That's at Night Owl MX. I'll link you in. We're on Facebook. It's a private group, but if you look up Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide Chapter, you can find us. We're going to skip a lot of the formalities here. So recently, things have really taken a turn. I'm going to say it for the worse in the FWWC. We've seen a lot of contradiction. We've seen a lot of infighting. We've seen a lot of tug of war between a certain segment of the ownership group and another segment of the ownership group. I know you and I have always kind of stood beside each other in this battle against the other side of the board. And the fact of the matter is that I never expected this thing to end up in court. And I know it's been particularly frustrating for you because you're just a man trying to run an organization. You've been the head booker of the FWWC for 2 years. It's never been better. It's never seen more growth. The product is very polished, and we're making a transition now over to X from being exclusively on Facebook. And all these things were facilitated because I was able to take a little bit of step back as far as being, out in front booking and administrating from that perspective and really like handle more of the business side of it. Well, because of that, sometimes things seep in. And I know you probably didn't have your best moment a couple of months ago when you were looking for Mata. And these are all alleged. These things are all accused. We're going to figure this out here in a couple of days. But long story short, you kind of took things in your own hand. It didn't work out very well. And now you have to stand trial in FWWC wrestler court. This obviously is not only, not only does it have your position in the company at stake, your position as a booker at stake, but I know it's also affecting things at home from a personal perspective. So I wanted to give you this platform, one of the few places that we can't be manipulated by El Mata, La Familia, and these people, and you can actually speak freely and not be interrupted. So Dewan, I'm giving you the floor for about 2 minutes here, and then I'll come back with a couple of quick rebuttal questions, okay? You mind kind of laying things out for us, how it stands? And I know there's been a couple of news in the last 24 hours as far as who's going to be a part of the trial. So lay it out for us, bud.
Not a problem at all, Night Owl. There's a lot of things that I can't say because this is a legal matter. But what I can say is this. This situation between myself and El Mata for nearly 10 plus years. And I guess what I don't understand is that through everything that this group has been through, the growth, the titles, the accolades, the events, we're on X now, everything that has grown from this group, individuals becoming legitimate professional wrestlers, other individuals starting their own podcasts. I do not understand why we always circle back to this. Why do we always circle back, for whatever reason, to me and him? Now, granted, there were some things that happened that I could have done better, but let's make it clear. And my lawyer, my defense team is going to make it perfectly clear. This was not my fault. I was coerced. As a matter of fact, I was invited to this residence by him. Now, again, my lawyer is going to get all that together. And on top of that, I got some questions myself about this prosecution team. Those of you who know, it will be none other than Julius Cairo, who will play prosecutor. Again, I have my opinions, but I'm going to let my lawyer, the man that's going to defend me, none other than our very own FWWC World Heavyweight Champion, Remy Ricks. He is going to be the man that's going to prove that I was not at fault in this situation. I have my opinions. I can't speak much about it because it's a legal matter, but we will get to the bottom of this in a couple days at Wrestle Court on the... Well, actually, no, I take that back. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, it might not be this upcoming Thursday. I need to talk to the legal team. See, there's still a lot we got to go over. We'll have an official court date here in the near future. There's still a lot of stuff we got to talk about.
Sorry. So I know during the discovery phase of this trial, there's been a lot of continuances and stuff like that. Obviously, you guys probably heard the FWWC Ruler of the Ring tournament was supposed to kick off last week because of this kind of court and Dewan not being able to continue to hold the reins. It's kind of jumbled some things up. So for those of you who are like, it's not a big deal, it's just nonsense, who cares? It's just a sidebar story. Well, we were getting ready to kick off probably one of the coolest things we've ever done. We're again calling it the FWWC Ruler of the Ring tournament, similar to the King of the Ring, but kind of our version of it. And because of all this legal mumbo jumbo and everybody being preoccupied with that, not being able to focus on business, that's gotten pushed back too. So I think we all want to see a resolution here. My understanding is that could be as early as Thursday. It could be as late as this weekend. But as soon as we know for sure, we'll let you guys know on the FWFC page, probably first on X and then about 24 hours later on Facebook. But make sure you guys are paying attention because, we really are talking about the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. There's a lot of fantasy e-feds or whatever, but it's something special to be able to call yourself the best. I think we deliver that, okay, every single week. With our shows, with our competition, with our real life championships. We don't write finishes for people. You get to compete. You make picks. It's really all on you. How do you produce? How do you promo? How do you role play? And more importantly, how do you show up when it matters at the big pay-per-views? That's really what it comes down to. That's why we're the world's premier. But Dewan, I just want to say to you, bro, as your business partner, I'm sitting kind of with my hands tied here. I'm just another member here. I don't make any final decisions. My word isn't any stronger than anybody else's. What I can tell you is, bro, you've been dealing with Mata more than anybody for the last 10 years. at this point, bro, all you got to do is stay looking forward, but make sure you're always watching your six, man. Always. Because with Mata, I mean, we seen, bro. We seen this man he's drugged you. He's drugged you. He's facilitated you getting thrown into sheds. He's thrown you into vans. He's stolen from you. He's, incident after incident after incident. And the fact that you're the one going to court is just ridiculous to me. It's just an opinion. I don't have any say in it, but I just want to say, bro, my heart goes out to you. And I'm sorry for the hardship this may be causing to you personally, because I know it's put a strain on your family as well.
I mean, personally, he's taking one thing that was most important.
Sorry,
My leg's great, 100%. My leg's good to go. I'll be ready for court. But like I said, he took the one thing that was important to me, man. The one thing that mattered to me most. I can deal with the shit. I can deal with the embarrassment. I can deal with all that shit. I've always bounced back. He took one thing away from me. Booking, being around my people. I haven't booked in 2 weeks. I haven't touched anything in 2 weeks.
The kissing of the foot. How can we forget that at esports?
I've done nothing because of this damn order. So you got what you want, Mata. You wanted me to be at my lowest low. Here I am, jackass. Now let's come to a freaking resolution and get this over with.
Certainly, hopefully,
whatever we got to do.
Certainly, and hopefully sooner than later, bro. Because damn, we need to get you back with your pen in your hand, bro. Last season was incredible. I mean, dog, we're in the middle of starting off, just kicking off season 11. This is the last thing here. Kicking off season 11, man. We just restarted the FED, the FWC evolution and developmental. Everything's going great. Things are coming together. Champions are talking to competitors, vice versa. And then this shit breaks off. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, bro. We're finally getting some momentum going in, and this shit happens. So,
right.
Anyway, it sounds like a certain segment of the FWC does want you back.
Bring back CEO. I appreciate the hashtag, dog.
The international champion doesn't seem to give a hoot that you're gone, so she's got you while you're gone.
No, she cares. She does. And let me shout out. Hold on. Let me get my proper flowers. I got to give them the flowers. Hold on before I get up out of here. To everybody that's been holding it down since I've been gone, and I mean this on a shoot, now you see what I go through. And I need to kind of shut my mouth because I always say, how about let's see what happens if you guys book the show. But for the past 2 weeks, the FWC has been running it, baby. I have nothing to do with it. So,
well, it hasn't been as smooth as it looks. It hasn't been as smooth as it looks behind the scenes. I'm just telling you that. But yes, kudos to her and the rest of the competitors.
Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully, we can get the shit done this week. But I know you guys got the rich show you got to do tonight. Thank you.
Now, let me bring Skywalker back on so he can get his final goodbye out to you, bro, and then we'll go ahead and get you out of here for tonight.
Well, something, first of all, I'm going to shout it out here right now. Mr. CEO, regardless if you have booking power or whatever, I'm going to refer to him as Mr. CEO because he, along with yourself, Night Owl, the FWWC would not be where it is today without the contributions of both of you. And I'm going to tell you right now, this situation in professional wrestling in general, you want to see the best in-ring action take place on a weekly basis. And when something comes into play that's going to take everything, whether it's the main brand or a developmental brand or a sister promotion or whatever, and it takes that off the table, that's a problem. And I hope, for the sake of everybody involved, that this gets dealt with, it gets put to rest, and we continue to see the best with the FWWC. And again, I believe every Thursday night right here on this great social media platform. Make it a point to check it out. 7:30.
That is correct.
Make it a point to check it out because you're going to see a lot of things, and we're going to hear about this for many, many days to come. But hopefully, once and for all, we can get the CEO back to where he needs to be. All the issues can be put aside, and finally, the FWWC can be in harmony and one once again.
Let's go, baby.
I got one last thing I want to say. Mills, going into last Universe Mania, I remember hearing someone say, Mills, you got to earn it. It certainly seems like you're having to earn it the old-fashioned way, bro. I'm in your corner every step of the way. If you need anything, you know where I'm at, dog.
All day, baby. I'm out.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, well, at least the temporarily suspended CEO of the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWC. Shout out to Hardcore.
Night Owl,
my guy.
I know what you got, what's here, but I think even though he may be on a booking suspension, one thing that's for certain.
We got make a note. Make a note. That made my headphones crackle. So let's find a new one because that was no good. That was worse than Roseanne. You too? You too, Blaire? Okay, I thought so. Okay, by the way, for those that are wondering, 3 minutes away for our featured interview of the evening. The Fiji water has been served. Okay. The green M&Ms all set aside because I believe that's his favorite. Hopefully he didn't get that wrong. The main attraction set to join us in just a couple of moments. I just want to take a brief moment, Skywalker, to thank the CEO for coming on. Again, going through a whole lot, making it happen. And in the entire first hour of the show, all the viewers, everybody who's tuned in, all my folks from I-70 Sports Media, shout out to Jeremy Karp. Definitely everybody watching us over on X. Much support and love to y'all. Anybody on the YouTube. And here's one thing that Hoss always says, and he's so right. If you're not watching us live, we still effing love you. If you're checking out the replay, if it's a couple of days after the show, whatever, just know that your listens are just as appreciated as if you were checking us out live. Just know that the Wrestle Talk Pod is grateful to you. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be nearing 500 episodes. We do about 2.5 hours a show. Just do the math yourselves. How many hours of content that we've put together over the last 10 years? I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling, Skywalker. I can't believe we're that close to episode 500.
Well, Night Owl, when you talk about episode 500, I mean, a lot of programs don't get to 50. They don't get to 100. But to be at nearing 500 episodes, and I'm going to level. We've had meetings. We've had discussions. I mean, we talked with Big Daddy P, and he's talked with people. We've had our good friend, the broadcast colleague, Justin Wade. He's been getting messages from out west. We've had, of course, Hardcore Hoss. We've had a lot of people here in the Midwest. Episode 500 is going to be a landmark program, not just for the FWWC, for the Wrestle Talk podcast. It's going to be for everybody.
We should bring Gilbert back. We should bring Gilbert back. That would be dope. Let's get No, seriously. Let's bring. Let me. You want me to reach out my guy Dwayne if he wants to make an appearance for 500? I know people love Gilbert, bro. Y'all should see my contacts, bro. It's crazy.
I want to throw one more out here. A long time ago, and Night Owl, I know we had this discussion, and I'm going to bring up another name. I remember a long time ago that you and a certain individual had a very noticeable debate talking about the state of professional wrestling. How about this?
All right.
How about we start getting a hashtag, episode 500, the great debate 2, the Maestro and Gilbert.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Somebody send hey, listen, for those that don't know, we were doing this big challenge we do like once a year, and it was like a bracket system, a tournament, like the best lightweights ever. Gilbert was on there for whatever reason because it was like a group of 64. Gilbert somehow made it to like the second or third round, and Jeremy Karp was and by the way, he's the owner of I-70 Sports Media. Y'all already know. They're covering all things Midwest sports. They're huge. They're doing big things. They're affiliated with all sorts of big organizations or whatever. But my point is, he was talking all this shit about Gilbert, and then what happens, bro? The music plays, and who shows up? No bullshit. Real life Dwayne effing Gill. That music right there. That really happened, bro. If y'all don't believe me, DM me. I will send you the episode. That was a real thing that happened here on the show. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, Night Out, I'm going to put it this way. I've been around the program for a long time. You have been. And I got to say, as Corey Graves would say.
Very, very impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And that's one of those, when you sit there and look at it, I mean, that's the kind of thing you grow to love here with the Wrestle Talk podcast. You never know who's going to show up, when they're going to show up, why they're going to show up, but they always show up here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. And you know something, Night Owl? We're a minute over, but that's okay.
Let's go.
Tonight, as a pro wrestling fan, we've had a lot of collective introductions. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this one off, but I'm going to pass it on to you because you are the man with the plan, the original innovator of the interview.
We got music.
That's true.
We're ready. Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, when you get to see someone like our featured guest here this evening, you get to see the complete package. You get to see from the beginning to now and what the future holds. And I will tell you, for as long as I've been around wrestling, this is a type of interview that really intrigues me. Last week, we had the opportunity to look at a Jeremy Lightfoot who had 26 plus years inside the squared circle. And you get to see the complete package and what, if you dare say, go back and what they would change. But tonight's guest is on the other side of the coin. Somebody who's setting the Midwestern pro wrestling scene on fire. And I'm going to tell you right now, as the Night Owl is going to give you a little bit more. This is an interview. Tell your friends, tell your families. Tonight's interview is going to be another one that's off the charts right here on the WTP.
No doubt about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is both of our pleasure and honor to welcome a young man that I had the fortune of watching very early on in his career. Obviously, the fact that he's based out of the city I'm in right now makes him particularly interesting to me because there's nothing more intriguing than watching the development of young talent. I remember El Diablo when he first walked into XWC. I remember Hollis Jarreau, the Marksman, Leo D, and the list goes on and on and on. And this young man is just another page in the legendary book that will be written about Kansas City wrestling. I know I was getting a little defensive with you earlier, Skywalker, because you're always putting over St. Louis, and I understand it. Haas is always putting over the Eastern Panhandle, and I get it. And Gabe's always doing his Florida thing, and I understand it. And Wade is always talking about the West Coast and his time in the Lou as well. But, man, there's something to be said about what's in the water, what we're putting in the gumbo here in Kansas City wrestling. And when you see a guy who's affiliated with the main attractions, becoming a main attraction himself, you got to make some damn noise because 2 years from graduating, now all over the Midwest, Blaire Dior is definitely up next. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit some music, make some motherfucking noise for the main attraction. Our guest tonight for 483, the one and only Blaire Dior. Hit it, boys. 3, 2, 1.
Bro, there he go with the jock kid. Turn your nose, the air with your angel has a rose. Looking right in the careers because it's my year. Knock him dead or on there, there he is. They hear the ding dong, son and rush affair. Wrestling's finest is here. Up with the screen boards in the high chair. He can just do it like some Nike airs. Fucking devils so they wouldn't dare. So their schemes completely bare. 1, 2, 3, king of the ring. Bring in the fanfare. Our worlds collide with the blink of an eye. Who's that jumping out in the sky? Father God with a bunch of Christians. Came out to smoke candy or learn from angel hands with a motivation to settle the score. A lot of wrestlers step through the ropes thinking straight though, but ain't up enough they had their own.
Ladies and gentlemen, our featured guest of the evening, Blaire Mother Lovin' Dior, baby. Yeah. What is going on, young fella, man? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. You know, work was hell, but, you know, we're going to lift it up here. You know,
hey, you know what they say? You got to get your money up, not your funny up, man. You got to handle business, you know? Welcome to the show, man. Welcome. Night Owl MX, man. Honored, pleasure. I know we've met a few times before. That's my partner, Grime, Luke Skywalker Roberts, 35 plus years in the pro wrestling game. One day this dude will go into a Hall of Fame somewhere. He's residing in St. Louis, bro. Thank you again for making time for us tonight. Legit.
No problem. But quick question, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
How long have you known me, Renee?
Probably about 3.5 years now, 2.5 years, something like that.
So, what took you so long, buddy?
Okay, well, I love to answer this question. No, hey, come on now. I want all the smoke, bro. I'm like this. Here's what it is, and I say this to every single guest. We want to bring you on when you are doing something or have done something recently worth discussing. Now, you've had a great ascension. You graduated a little while back, but let's be honest. There's a maturity process that happens in this business that when you get to 3, 4, 5, 6, now you're not just making shit up as you go. We want to hear some of the stories from the road. We want to hear about some of the ups and some of the downs. If we get you right after graduation, do we really have that much to get into? Maybe we could talk about the future for a while. But in reality, now that you've actually done the drives, this is when we want to hear from you, bro. Because you're not a veteran necessarily, but you're not a rookie. Maybe a young vet. Is that fair? Young vet in a way?
That's
getting
fair.
there. So I always say the same thing to everybody, bro. This ain't like, oh, we're just pushing you off or whatever. It's like, let's find a time that really simmers and really makes sense so that we can explore both the past, present, and the future. Because now you got a little bit of that in your backpack. You see what I'm saying? That's what I say to everybody. Is that fair?
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, that said, I could jump in here and it would be just you and me the entire evening, but I am a respectful dude. Okay. So, Skywalker, I want to go ahead and let you take the lead with the first question, Merle, because I know I got a lot of them and a lot of comments too to Blaire, just based on what I've seen him do, what I think is going, some of the heat he gave me at that show over in Independence. Y'all was throwing mad shade. So we want to talk about all that. But Skywalker, go ahead, bro. Let's hear from you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Blaire. First of all, welcome to being here in the program, the Russell Top Podcast. And I'm gonna level with you. Your name has come up many a time when it comes to what is the next level here in the Midwest when it comes to professional wrestling. And I'm a level with you. I know for a fact that the Night Owl, he was scrambling, he was covering himself as he always does, just to make sure everything's good. But I want to level up something here. And I was looking at some of your background data. And we talk about what it takes to get into the professional wrestling industry. But one of the things I learned in doing my research is you always considered yourself to be a very humble, very dedicated, very focused man. Whether it's your family, your beliefs, you always put it on the line. I got to ask you, getting into professional wrestling, how important has it been to stick to those things that you hold important?
Honestly, I walk with God through everything. So, like, he was going to be by my side through wrestling either way. Same with my mom, even though at first, the belief with me wrestling wasn't always there. She stayed right there. She's my rock, and not to get emotional, but, like, that's my real idol, honestly, over wrestling and everything. Like, that's my idol. But, that's really it. Like, family's everything to me.
Well, Blaire, I'm a level with you here. That's one of the things in professional wrestling a lot of people and a lot of fans don't understand is the idea that when you get inside the squared circle and you travel, and again, I'm not going to knock on my broadcast colleague here because the Night Owl, he's been on the roads. No, he's been on the roads. He knows what it is that when you have that opportunity of when you're traveling 300, 400, 500 miles and you're away from your family in the evening. And again, I know very well, I've missed birthdays. I've missed family gatherings, far too many to admit. Night Owl's had many a time where he's had to be away from his family. I know you've been as well. But to be so focused on keeping that as an important part of your life, I mean, again, I give you props on that. Now, another thing I noticed here, and I've gotten to watch a few of your matches, and I've heard some people say that your style is compared to two. And I'm going to knock one of them out here. You've been compared to a young RVD, and you've been compared to a young AEW champion, that being Swerve Strickland.
That's hilarious.
I got to do it.
And I'm going to tell you right now, And I'm gonna level with you. From what I've seen,
Yeah.
okay, we got there. We got the dance. We got it on camera. We know what it is now. That's gonna go in the highlight package for 500 right there. It's got to go there. But when you look at it, I got to ask you, getting into the wrestling industry, and again, it's tough enough trying to get into the wrestling industry. But when you were watching wrestling, who were your favorites? Who were the ones that you truly idolized? Because being an in-ring competitor like myself, going from a fan to being in the ring, your opinion changes. I want to throw this a two-part. Number one, who were your faves growing up?
Well, it's funny because like my number one is RVD. Like that's hilarious. I'm getting compared to him. Swerve is up there now. You know, I stole a lot of his moves. Sorry, buddy. But yeah.
You didn't steal, you borrowed. You've innovated his moves.
And speaking of borrowing, can I hit you with an Eminem line? I bite your mother-loving style and I make it fresher. So that's what it is. If you can do it better than the last guy, then it's not really bite. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got a lot to live up to because Isaiah, incredible dude. By the way, totally interrupt here and ask you this question. Have you ever seen that song that Clear Soul Forces made for ACH?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to send you that. There's a video package where it's ACH and like half the video package includes who? Isaiah Swerve Scott.
That's
I'm gonna send you that right after the show. I promise you're gonna thank me later.
All right, bet.
Let's try Walker.
Well, as you talk about here too, though, I mean, again, it's the idea of where professional wrestling, there's multiple different avenues. And you talk about the wrestlers that you watched growing up, and you talk about the innovation of professional wrestling. And another name when you talk about it, innovators in the world of pro wrestling, is a man that I've had a lot of dealings with, and he's been on the program, as a matter of fact, the one and only reborn Matt Sydal.
Ooh.
Another man who's changed the game, who's taken it to the next level. And for the record, too, Night Owl, I think we need to there was a comment here a while ago talking about a certain masked wrestler, ROH, been on the program, talking about taking it to the next level, just like the Wrestle Talk podcast and Blaine Dior does each and every time he gets in the ring. But my question is this. Getting in the ring now, with your experience, with the knowledge that you have in your wrestling toolbox, so to speak, what would you tell that young Blaire Dior looking at wrestling now back then? If you knew now what you knew then,
what would you say to the
what would you say?
That's a good question. See, you couldn't have answered that 2 years ago.
Okay.
Go ahead, Blaire.
Can I cuss?
Hey, bro, this is your platform. Do with it what you will, and trust me, some of the stuff that's been said on this show, bro, you're not gonna take us somewhere we haven't been before.
Well, Night Owl, before we go, as a reminder, what would your family think? If your family be okay with it, then let it go. Let it flow.
Can I say what my family would say before Blaire says it? All right. My family would say, si se justifica, se justifica. And that in English, that means
Google Translate.
Okay, there you go. SAP. Thank you, sir. If it's warranted, then it's justified. So if you need to slide that in there to make your point, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Plus, you're an adult, gosh darn it.
Yeah, I'll be 21 in June. So.
Let's go. Go ahead, hit us with it.
Sorry, Mom.
Mom.
Anyway, old Blaire Dior, honestly, he was a bitch. You know, I cried over everything, honestly. I was like, oh, that hurt too much, or this hurt too much. Now I feel like, now that I've become more of a man, I can take more than I did then. So, like...
Pause. I had to, Blaire, I'm sorry, but man was about to go so deep. Pause, and then okay, let's catch her. I'm not. All right, listen.
I hate you.
Hey, just finish, bro. I'm gonna go to timeout. You finish. Sorry. When you watch the replay of that's gonna be so good.
Hold up, Night Owl. You brought it up earlier, and you're going in there with what's there. I think Blaire Dior would like to say this to you. Now then, Mr. Dior, as Night Owl steps in, he steps back out into the background for a bit. Continue your thought, please.
Please.
Also, I would with promos, like I would be like terrified because you obviously you can't tell now because like I'm open and talking with you guys, but I used to be terrified to do promos. I would stutter through promos and everything, break down and cry during promos. So like me 2 years ago, I feel like I've lifted up since then. Like honestly, that's how I feel.
Well, Blaire, as we talk about things, and I'm gonna level with you. My first promo, and I know Rodell and Mr. GQ and Rough Cut Rick Ruby and others can tell you some horror stories about some Luke Roberts promos back in the day. And again, you're talking to a man who was able to have a award-winning, memorable conversation. And if you want to go, as the kids say, Google it or YouTube it, Luke Roberts doing an interview, having a conversation with a empty Christmas tree.
Okay.
So just give you an idea. I understand that sometimes things kind of go on their own little thing, but that's one of the things that when you look at being a pro wrestler is that you learn so much, whether it's being on the road or being in the ring or being in the training ring. And I'm going to throw one more out here before I throw it to Night Out. You had an opportunity to live your dream, which you still do to this day.
Hell yeah.
What was it like day one? I know you train, you learn all these things, you learn all the cool flips and the moves and the mat wrestling, and you get all the bumps and the bruises. Day one, when you walked out of training that very first day, how'd you feel?
Walking in day one, I was nervous. I brought my best friend. We don't really talk like that anymore, I guess. But he's the guy that made my theme song.
I can relate.
Yeah, he's the guy that made my theme song. Shout out to him. But we both walked in. He was going to try out with me, but he didn't do it for some reason. I guess he just wasn't motivated enough. But I walked in. I see Shooter Shailin. One guy I can't say, I guess, because he stopped wrestling. I guess he's canceled, whatever. And then, Bird Candy, right?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So,
Bird Candy got canceled? When?
Well, not Bird. He didn't get canceled. I'm talking about. I'll tell you after. Yeah,
we'll talk after. Yeah.
But yeah, I walked in and I was just over there going over stuff, doing collegiate like lockups and stuff, and they're just staring at me and they're judging me. They're like, "What is this kid doing?" I'm like, I'm trying to get ready, for this tryout. But I guess I was all cringy to them, so that kind of like made me more calm. Like, now I got to prove them wrong. So that's how I felt.
Well, Blaire, and again, that's one of those things when you get in the ring, and I was actually talking earlier today to a man who's really making a lot of impact as well, just like yourself, Tyler Cooley. And one of the things is when you get in that ring, doesn't matter day 1 or day 37, you're going to get those butterflies. You're going to get that opportunity that you get to be on a stage that so few people get the opportunity to do. And to have that experience, again, you taught basketball, been there, done that. You taught track, been there, done that. You've got so many different things that you bring to the table before you even step in the ring. I don't think it's because they were wondering what you were doing. I think it was wondering for how soon before they're going to be having to figure out what's going to take to deal with Blaire Dior inside the squared circle. And that's one of those things.
Catton too, man. Catton and them boys, like, we've been around them for a long time, and people got their opinions, bro, but they keep producing talent. So talk your shit, like, if you want, but talent, shooter, shot. You guys heard everybody I talked about, and that's not even the newer generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got some killers over there, bro, and people don't even understand this.
Yeah,
You're starting to see it now, though. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you about a marksman shop here in a minute. Go ahead, Skywalker. I just want to jump in and say that because
no. And as we're talking about it here, Night, I'm gonna throw it back here to you in just a sec. One of the things that I see, and I'm just gonna level with you. I see that energy. I see that fire. I see that desire that you have just from how you talk about pro wrestling, and you represent the pro wrestling industry. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Night Owl, I'm on level. I was told I only have a certain amount of time before the Night Owl is going to go ahead and push me to the background.
That's not true at
But
all.
you know, Night Owl, I'm on level with you. This man right here, when it comes to you, Blaine, he's a guy that's got a lot of great things to talk about. So, Night Owl, I'm going to pass it back over to you because you need your time. And, of course, Blaire Dior, this is his time.
Well, what can I say about the grace and elegance of the legendary Luke Skywalker Roberts? I mean, like I said, Blair, this dude is for real going to be in a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame someday. If you don't know, now you know.
I'll have to add you on Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's got some. He's made a lot of friends over in the St. Louis area in Southern Illinois, so you may need to hit him up for a variety of reasons.
And you know that's going to be in that Night Owl. That's one of the things we're going to put in the hashtag. Hashtag Blaire Dior to St. Louis. Hashtag Blaire Dior Indianapolis. Hashtag Blaire Dior Chicago.
Well, I got
we
one.
need to start getting those out there.
I got one. Blaire Dior hashtag Minnesota. Let's start there. A good friend of ours. Here we go. We're going to start here. And Blair, you can take this wherever you want, bro. If you want to Kobe, like, next question me, I get it. Like, I understand. So I was told by a reputable member of the pro wrestling community here in Kansas City to ask you about Minnesota. You know, like I said, you got some stories now, right? So why don't you drop this one on us, bro? Because I don't know what the story is. I'm laughing because I'm sure it's crazy. But somebody's like, yo, ask my man about Minnesota. Elbow. I was like, I got you.
Was it John?
I can't say, bro. I can't reveal my
He's sworn to secrecy.
Yeah, I got you. I'll tell you who it is right now. There it is. Just said it. Go ahead, Blair. Talk to us about Minnesota.
Minnesota was I went out with me, Burke Handy, and a couple other students from KCXW or XWC. And we drove out. It was like a 6-hour drive to middle of nowhere. I've never even seen this part of Minnesota. I thought we were going to like Minneapolis, you know, the big part of Minnesota. We went to what is it called? I think it's like, I don't know. We're gonna go with Albuquerque. I don't fucking know.
Smallsville, Minnesota.
Smallsville.
I don't know.
We'll go with that. Yeah, Smallsville, Minnesota. And when we pulled up to the venue, we see that they have a low boy. If you don't know what a low boy is, it's a ring where it sits really low to the ground. So I was already kind of irritated with that. And I'm just like, okay, what else is going to turn out bad on this? Then I get to my opponent. Not a bad wrestler, okay? He was pretty solid, but I'm not trying to like say I'm the best ever, okay? But there was a little struggles, you know, just I don't want to put him
chemistry issues. Can we say that? Chemistry issues. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
The chemistry was off. We still had a solid match, you know, but it just didn't go the way I thought it would. And there was only 5 people in the crowd.
Yep, I can see where this is going.
Oh gosh, bro.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, shout out to Minnesota.
It sounds so. I watched the match back, and it sounds like another platform. So yeah, it's yeah.
Oh my god!
I never realized how bad it sounded, but like, yeah, it sounds horrible. Close your eyes and watch it. I'll send it to you.
I gotta ask, did you get paid?
Yeah, I got paid $20.
You got paid. You got paid. Because you know a lot of bookers. Hold on, real quick. Just a lot of bookers will put it on the house. Well, you know, the house or whatever. It's like, bro, it ain't got nothing to do with me. But go ahead, Skywalker.
Well, I'm gonna throw it this way: you got paid, and that's the mark of a professional. I've had times where I've been paid with expired Subway coupons. Been there, done that. I've been paid in produce. I've been paid in Hostess snack cakes.
Yeah.
So the idea doesn't matter 5 or 500,000. You got paid, and again, the marquee says professional.
Word on the street is with the produce. You specifically requested eggplant, Is there a reason?
Hey, for the record,
I'm just investigating.
I'm gonna put it out there, and I know he's been on the program. We're scheduled to have him back on, hopefully before episode 500. I'm gonna let the Beast tell that story because the Beast was the one that actually got me signed for that event. And I'm gonna tell you the road trip stories there. That's a completely different episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast.
It's on the house. Yeah, Herb Simmons is chuckling, one of the most respected promoters in pro wrestling history, talking about what you mean you didn't have the envelopes for the guys when they walked in. What are you talking about? You're waiting for the house? LOL. And for my man Herb Simmons to be using LOL, that's all I can say. Respect to that. And then Duke City. Talk to us a little bit about Duke City. I know we had my man making trouble on the show not too long ago, bro. Talk to us a little bit about Duke City Skywalker, because I know if they're checking in, showing love to Blaire, they must see something they like.
And you know something, Duke City Championship Wrestling, if you get an opportunity to go out West Coast, and that's another one we could throw out there, hashtag DCCW, Blaire Dior. I mean, I know there's a lot of people like All Love Kendall Beck, the infamous Tyler Copeland, among others, who've made the journey out to Albuquerque and appeared at the historic El Rey Theater. Again, I'm not joking here. We need to start getting those hashtags right here on the program because so many people seeing it. We got to figure out where is Blaine Dior going next. Night Owl, back to you.
Okay, yeah, and here's what I'm about. I'm about making. Oh, there you go. There you go. Hey, maybe we can send Blaire. This is up to you. We're not trying to be your manager or anything, but if you got a little bit of a package, that we can send to my guys over at Duke City via email, man. Like let's talk about it, and we'll get that over to them guys because it seems to me like you're the kind of guy that's trying to expand your horizons. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, right?
My fee's very cheap, so.
Like that, and you're going to deliver every single time. So that's the biggest one. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about delivering every single time. So Skywalker asked you about your first day at the XWC, and we don't have to rehash every moment. But my thing is like, what things stick out to you? What relationships? Was it with the Marksman? Was it with Catton? Was it with Captain Shabam? You know, who are you making these? Is it Jason? Like, who are the people that you feel like you really connected with from the management team perspective, but also from a talent perspective? Because I know everybody's got their favorite trainer and everybody's got their favorite coworker. So talk to us about those relationships that you built and why KCXW, XWC is always going to, yeah, exactly, bro.
It's on here somewhere.
That's love. That's love. That t-shirt is crazy. This is one of the originals, bro. One of the original joints. This is handed directly to me by David and Jordan, both.
Oh.
Yeah, the founders of this joint. So, and Adam, of course. But anyway, yeah, I want you to talk about that. Like, this is opportunity to put over home. You know, we can talk about the future all day long, but ultimately, your family, your roots, seems like that's what's important to you. By the way, I'm not going to play the clip here, but I saw a YouTube video, or was it a Facebook, Instagram video of yours saying just a couple of days ago, talking about like, hey, if I post something and you got something to say about it or whatever, like, I love that energy, bro, because you stand on business, and I respect that. So let's take a moment and put over those guys that helped lay the foundation that's gotten you this far in your career, man. Go ahead.
So as far as like who I got close with first, I would say my buddy AJ, Alan Jones, for people that don't know. He went to Lee Summit North, and I went to Lee Summit High School, so we kind of had that connection because we're in the same town. And he would tell me all types of things like always stay humble. Don't ever get too when you're on a high, don't stay on that high. Always come back to your roots and stay humble. And I respected him ever since that. And we've had so many banger matches together, tag or singles matches. But I think
what's Alan's work name for those that don't know?
Alan Jones.
Alan Jones is work name?
Yeah.
Right. So from a trainer perspective, you got some of the vets that train there, but then you got, you know, David and some of these other guys. So in terms of the trainers that you got a chance to engage with, I'm sure you learned something from all of them, but who did you gravitate to the most? Who necessarily took you under their wing as a trainer? And you're like, okay, this is somebody I feel like I can relate with and you know, pull all that information from.
I would definitely say Jude Vice. I learned a lot from him because we can do the same athletic stuff. Not saying David can't, because as you know,
He
he's
can,
really,
bro. Yeah, it's wild.
really,
People underestimate his athletic ability.
yeah, he's very strong too, like surprisingly strong. Like I don't know where he gets it from. But yeah,
insane.
Jude Vice showed me a lot of different things. Like if you've seen one of my matches, I do a double springboard. He's the one that showed me how to do that, and I brought it to the ring. And I'm happy he gave it to me because nobody else does it. So,
like I said, bro, people will say what they say, and KCXW, XWC, about 10 years strong at this point.
correct.
And continuing to develop young talent such as yourself. And again, you're looking at a guy who's a legend as a promoter. Just an amazing 2-day event this past weekend. SICW, kind of the Legends deal that Herb Simmons does over there.
They had Randy Orton.
Bro, they had Randy, they had Bob, they had Bill Abner, bro. They had, Barbara Goodish was there. Bruiser Brody's widow was in the house, bro. Darla Staggs. Nothing but straight up legends, bro.
I'm sorry about that.
That might be a business call, bro. If that's a booking, we'll wait.
No, you're let me put it on mute.
No, it's all good. Well, and here's what I always say, bro. This is a live show, and welcome back, Skywalker. This is a live show, bro. We're not tripping on all that. We do this live, and that's kind of why people dig the show. I don't know if you get the vibe, like we got a little bit of formal, but then we got beat. So
exactly.
Hey, Night Owl, I'm going to chime in here real quick. We've had a lot of things in 483 episodes, but I don't think we've ever had a booking, and that could have been a first right here. Blaire Dior getting booked to a new promotion right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, live.
Oh, wait, just so you don't think we're capping, look, book a flight, Gippy up, just like Tyler Copeland. So Tyler went from St. Louis to Duke City. Where is Duke City based out of again? Is that Denver?
Albuquerque, New
Mexico. So Blaire, we do this. I'm dead serious what I'm telling you right now. Look.
I've been waiting for my call.
We do this, bro. We do this now. Obviously, you know what it is. It's business. And there's some things that got to be handled beforehand. But anybody who comes here on the show, it's not like a stamp or anything, but I'm just going to say if they know we're talking with you, they know you're legit. There was a guy a couple of years ago, and I'm gonna name just one name. I'm just give me permission, bro. We're almost at 500. Excuse my swag, as they say. Swag. There's a guy. There was a guy that came on here. You might know him. Back then, he was going by the name Damian Martinez, aka Punishment Martinez.
Oh, Damian Priest,
aka your world champion right now. So when I say we do this, okay? Now, I'm not bragging. I'm only sharing because you will be the guy, in my opinion, Skywalker, tell me if you disagree, you will be the guy that we are bragging about in 5 years if you do a couple of things. So this is where you get an opportunity to listen to a couple of old guys. Okay. Skywalker, if you could give our friend Mr. Dior a little bit of sage wisdom from your 35 plus in the business and me covering the business so incessantly for the last 10, okay? What would you share with him from what you've seen? Because we do our research about our guests. That's why we kind of know. What would you share with him that he could leave here with that might potentially help him continue ascending in the business? Because definitely, bro, you saw me early. I was saying the trajectory, right? We were talking about Lightfoot, the end of his career. That's what we like to do. We like that contrast here on the show. But I want to hear what Skywalker's got to say. Because 35 years is a long time. Trained by John Blackheart. You face everybody in the business, bro. So let's hear from Skywalker here for just a moment.
Number one, innovate, don't imitate. Number two, when anybody calls, at least entertain that conversation because you don't know who you're going to talk to, when, why, how. They're always going to give you pieces of advice. And number three, the biggest thing to me, and you talked about it earlier on, keep being you. When it comes down to it in the world of pro wrestling, it comes down to an idea of where they say the greatest people in the world of professional wrestling are those that ramp themselves up. And again, Herb brings right on point. Leave egos at home. Check your ego at the door. Because when it comes down to it, the old adage is it takes two to tango. And inside the wrestling ring, I'm going to tell you right now, keep being you. Because right now, that energy, that fire, that determination, that's what's going to keep setting Blaire Dior apart from so many people. And again, not using the swag here, but when you look at all the names that have been on the Wrestle Talk podcast, you talk about those that have been from the Cauliflower Alley Club. You talk about those like from Ring of Honor, from MLW, from we've had from Impact Wrestling. I mean, you name it, they've been here. And that's one of the things. Keep being you, because being you is going to get you to where you need to be. And Night Owl, I'm going to level this here. We talked about the idea of all the things he brings to the table. Hold on here.
I just want to share a comment.
You need to bring it up.
Oh, Blaire. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm not gonna leave it up. I'm not gonna leave it up because people are gonna act crazy.
And somebody's gonna call him.
Skywalker, can you send that to him now, please? Just so he knows.
I will take care of that.
You, bro. I'm not gonna leave it up.
I will make sure it's taken care of on that. But here's my question. A lot of people talk about, who do you want to wrestle now?
What is swag? I love that. That's a good question. Can you answer that one first? No, let Blaire answer that. He's an expert, bro. Look at him. He's got it.
Okay.
Can you answer that first?
I'm just gonna step aside.
Go ahead, Blaire. Give us that. Cut a promo on what the hell swag is. Let's go.
I think swag is just like, you have like the flair and you have the drip. I don't know if you know what drip means.
Woo!
Yeah, Ric Flair drip, exactly.
Hey.
Well, yeah, it's just like you have it, you got it, you fire, you got it. You just have it. That's all I can really tell you.
So we're gonna say that in terms of translating to the little bit of the more mature generation, it's the it factor.
Yeah.
That swag is like, yo, when that dude walks in a room, whether you love him or you hate him, you're gonna notice. And people that got that swag now, even they got newer words for it. They call it motion. Got motion.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're moving, you're doing things, you're not dependent on nobody. You're the guy making the plans, not the one waiting to hear what the plans are.
Correct.
That's what the swag is. And I think that's what the Wrestle Talk podcast infuses into the podcast game. And I think that's where Blaire mother-loving Dior is infusing into the wrestling game. So here's where we're going to get on opposite ends of things as we start getting towards the end of this conversation. The main attractions. Oh, Blaire. Here's the only advice I'm going to give you, and you can call this a work. You can call it a shoot. I'll let you decide what it is. You're a smart guy. If there's one thing that's going to derail you in this business, it's taking advice from people that don't have your best interests at heart.
True.
Now, I'm not talking about Q here. I'm talking about the realist, Calvin Aldrich. I've watched this guy from his very first, you can ask him yourself, from his very, very first debut match. And if I'm wrong about the very first match, I know I've seen at least 70% of this man's career matches.
Gotcha.
I've been very fortunate to see him and some of the other the guys I mentioned earlier. Point is, something's up with that kid. And half the time when I see him, whether it's at Heartland or KCX or wherever it may be, he's got a chip on his shoulder. And I'm telling you now, I know he's a guy that's easy to look up to, one of the most talented individuals, one of the smartest guys in and outside the ring I probably ever met.
100%.
And if he's not where he wants to be in 5 years, I'd be absolutely shocked. Wherever his goal is right now, he's going to get there. He's that Swerve. He's that ACH. He's that guy. I see it. You see it. We all see it. Okay? But I'm telling you, there's something gotten into this kid that I don't like it. I'm going to be honest with you, Blaire. Him, the other real athletic kid in the main attractions, you don't
James
like
Moore.
Yeah, James don't really like people talking about him. He told me once, he's like, bro, I'm better in the shadows. I don't need the camera on me, bro. What I do it in the ring. And people know there's few people that can do stuff off the top rope in this business. Like the aerial attraction, James Moore. But he don't like when people say his name. He's a different kind of cat. Okay? I'm just letting you know. And who's the other buff kid you've been rolling around with too? Come on, man. The kid from Detroit. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, see?
Tobias.
Yeah, TH, man. So I'm just letting you know, Blaire, and we'll bring Skywalker in here shortly. I know the game. I'm from the streets. I know the hustle. I've been around a long time. I'm from 84, baby. I've been around longer than Nintendo, you dig? My point is this. You keep listening to these guys who were good guys once upon a time, and now they decided to get dirty in the game. And listen, it's working for them, but eventually, man, a house built, the cards crumbles. Blaire, listen to my pleas. Please listen to my pleas. These guys are going to get you in more trouble than what it's worth. You're going to end up fighting uphill half the time. And the shortcuts these guys take sometimes, it's just not a good look, bro. Man to man, I'm just telling you. Calvin Aldridge, James Moore, Tobias, they can do good work, and I've seen them do good work. But when they get in that mentality where it's me versus everybody, they're a dangerous bunch. And I just want to make sure I warn you about these guys. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to get jumped in the parking lot. Let me be honest. Okay? But I see a young man who's got an opportunity to make something of himself, and you keep aligning yourself, you're going to end up like Attila Khan. You're going to end up like Steve Fender. You're going to end up like some of these guys, okay? And I'm just trying to help you, Blaire. Man-to-man, professional wrestling lover to another professional wrestling lover. I will let you respond. I just had to pour that out of my heart to you, Vato. I had to say it. Go ahead.
I mean, have you, like, not seen what we have done together? You know, like, come on, man. What do you expect?
So I'm bringing it up.
Last year, Mr. Calvin Aldridge saw something in me when they didn't want to book me on the card. Shoot. And second of all, when I joined the main attractions, I rose up the card. I beat Clay Huna for that Season of Excellence championship.
True.
Exactly. So do you not see how much I have rose once I joined them? Old Blaire Dior was a pipsqueak. And look at me now. Confident.
And here, I can't argue with the results, Blaire. I'm just telling you long term. This is a short-term payoff. You ever seen Scarface? You ever seen Tony Montana, man? It didn't last, bro. Sosa got his ass. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Listen, clearly it's working. Skywalker, I'm going to bring you back in here. Help me reason with this guy. He associates himself with guys that are wildly successful, but their tactics are questionable. Skywalker, please tell me you're going to side with me on this as I try to give this very, very young, talented, and up-and-coming superstar some legitimate and honest guidance, because we already know how the game ends. Eventually, it's going to turn against you, bro. Everybody's seen this movie before.
Well, you know, Night Owl, I'm gonna throw it at you right now. And this is going to stun a lot of members of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. One of the phrases I often use, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Right now, here is my... Now, by the same token,
we're ready.
I also use another phrase. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And that's one thing I see from Blaire Dior. He knows what's there. In wrestling, you have to adapt. You have to evolve. You have to learn what's there. And he talks about, earlier on, talks about the promos, talks about the road trips. You see a lot of great wrestlers who can take it to the next level. You take knowledge, you always sit under that metaphorical learning tree. And while I agree with the Night Owl in the fact that pro wrestling is a tough business.
Very tough.
Something about Blaire Dior. I think this man knows what's up. And he's going to be a guy that, as you said, and you said 5, I don't think so, Night Owl. I'm going to put it out there. I say 1. I think when we talk about the year of 2024 and or the year of 2025, Blaire Dior's name is going to come up because he is.
Well, they're already talking about him in Albuquerque. They're talking about him in St. Louis after tonight. I mean, you might be right, Skywalker, and I'm not going to bet against you. I'm not dumb. I know what's up too.
Yeah,
I
you
see what's
say
happening here.
movies, like this is not Avengers. There's no end game in main attractions. So
Ooh, I like
love
that. I like
More
that.
gems. More
Okay,
gems.
now time out here. I'm a level here. I've known Herb Simmons a long time. I think it's the first time I've ever heard him say, "Keep your head on a swivel."
Bro, he said swag earlier. Are you kidding me right now? That's the one. He said swag earlier. And
But
then,
you gotta
and then he
understand.
followed up. He said, I have the whole. He said,
Herb Simmons keeping with the times here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. But all kidding aside, though, Blaine, I want to take this a little bit of a different avenue. You hear in a lot of interviews, wrestlers you want to wrestle down the road. You want to wrestle 5-10 years ago when Blaine Dior's name, the main attraction's name, are going to be even on the brighter lights than they are already now. I want to throw this one at you. And you can't say Isaiah Swerve Scott or Shane Strickland or what do you want to call it. You can't say RVD.
okay,
I'm going old school. Any wrestler from the past that you would wrestle. Give me one and one.
from the past, I will have to say Ric Flair. Yeah.
All right, floor George, my friend,
The
elaborate.
reason I say Ric Flair, as the Night Owl knows, I wear a fur coat when I walk out. I think I have more flair in my coat than he has in his whole body. But not saying he's not a legend, but the last match he had, technically I can wrestle him now because he almost had a heart attack. But yeah, shots fired. I'm known
Ric
for this.
Flair.
I'm known for this.
I like it. Okay.
You know
Okay.
something?
I like
I'm
that.
gonna throw us out here. Ric Flair, Blaire Dior. I'd pay to see it. The only thing is, though, I gotta say, as Night Owl said, I gotta say about 83 to 85 Ric Flair versus a 2024 Blaire Dior is gonna sell out any building in this country. And it's as simple as that. Night Owl, I'm gonna level with you. This guy's got it. As he said earlier on, he's got the swag. He knows what's up. But I got to get some stuff ready here because it's time in just a couple minutes. And you got a couple more questions for our guests.
More quick ones, yes, I do.
But you know what it is. I'm gonna get it ready because it's time. Game show is going to be around the corner, and I'm gonna level with you, Night Owl. After talking with the media department, all I'm gonna say, get ready because it's gonna be a long night in the game show challenge.
Hey, yo.
He set me up for failure already. Yo, you gotta relax. Can you fix my background too, Skywalker? I like the logo at the top when it's only the two of us. I like it at the top. Okay, so man, so much to think. Okay, so first things first. Let's answer this question just briefly. Can you move my logo to the top, Skywalker, please? 5 years from now, Blaire, and we've talked a lot about the present and the past. Just briefly looking into the future. Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? Listen. And I'll say this just very quickly. 3 years ago, 5 years ago, everybody's answer would have been the E. I think that's changed, and I think that's a very, very good thing. So please don't feel obligated to put them over for whatever reason, bro. Everybody's past different. We see the Will Ospreys of the world. They've gone their own way, and they've done spectacularly well without the E. So talk to us about what you see yourself doing, what promotion makes sense. Maybe you got your own at that point. I don't know. Anything's possible. Talk to us from the heart, man.
Actually, I have been thinking about starting my own promotion in like 5 to 10 years, something like that. I've been looking at Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's promotion. I would love to be there in 5 years because they're connected to the E as well. AAA, New Japan would be awesome. I would love to go to New Japan. I'm a big fan of Okada, even though he's in AEW now. Whatever. That's one of my dream matches to wrestle Okada. So New Japan's probably number one on that list right now, where I plan on being in 5 years. I can't hear you, sir.
That's me. I don't want you to hear my loud ass breathing and shit while you're talking. Okay, so let me follow up on that because that's really interesting. So there's something different about the Japanese wrestling. Like they don't clap at the same time. A lot of times it's quiet. What about that atmosphere appeals to you?
I like the stiffness, Pause.
He caught on. You're a smart guy. You're a smart.
You
ready? Yeah, I told you I was going to leave you alone, but I'm glad how you ready. You're saying, "Bing, bing." He's ready.
Yeah, because I like doing. If I don't have contact, I feel like it's harder for me to like sell a move. So the contact has to be there. I don't like that no contact stuff.
Respect. Okay, so then what changed? You said young Dior was I'm not gonna say a crybaby, bro. You said that. I wouldn't say that. I would say you maybe a little tender skinned as a young man,
Okay.
bro. You don't have your man strength. You don't got callous fingers. You haven't broken your knuckles a few times like most of us have or whatever.
Right.
Now you're growing into your man body slowly. Like, what helped you overcome that? Is it just repetition? Is it them chops from marksman? What? Maybe it's a little bit of that and everything else. What got you over that hump? Because it sounds like even though you had some background in athletics, that direct, skin to skin combat was a challenge for you to overcome initially. Just like everybody who takes their first bump, we all look super cringy and we look like a Ninja Turtle. Listen, I tried it on the big, the big blue, right? At the center years ago. I was intimidated and I've done BMX. I've done a bunch of crazy stuff, but it just takes that thing. So what helped you overcome that hurdle? I'm curious because I'm sure that's something everybody's going to run into when they go to their first training session.
To be honest, man, this goes to anybody that wants to be a wrestler. You have to keep falling on your ass if you want to make it in this business, man. Like you said, the reps. And yeah, thank you, Herb. The dedication to taking that first bump. It's it's so painful. Like, Night Owl, like, was it really painful for you too?
Can I say it that way? You have to commit to the ass whipping? Is that?
Yeah.
You got to commit. You got to commit to, it's coming. Pause. You're going to have to deal with it. It's part of the process. It's like thinking you're going to lose weight and not have to cut calories. It's like, feeling like you want to, get better at a particular skill and not having to do the homework. It's just like everything else, right? It's discipline, dedication.
Right, because I'm trying to.
Wasn't for me, bro. The first time I took a bump, I was 36 already. I was like, nah, dog, this ain't it. After being gang affiliated in my early youth and going through that whole process and getting out to becoming a dad and working 12 to 15 hour shifts for almost 15 years of my career to now being in management and having to work 10, 15 hours a day mentally. Bro, you can only do so much. So awareness is also a big part of it, in my opinion, right? Like you go in there, you go, like your homie, you said, hey, my homie came with me, but he decided not to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the best thing for him. He could have got into it, got seriously hurt, because we all know somebody in the business that gets seriously hurt. So let this be my last question. It's probably the most serious question of the night. When you go in there and you wipe your feet outside the ropes, we all know what that's about. What allows you to go in there and just create art without that fear? Like you talk about going to Minnesota, the chemistry wasn't really there. Bro, you're literally giving your life to a person that you might have only talked to for 10 minutes or 15 or 20 minutes and run the ropes for 20 minutes before the show. How do you rationalize that? Because to most people, like, yeah, bro, I'm not going to do a trust fall with you. And I just met you 20 minutes ago. And wrestling is a lot more than a trust fall. You know that thing where you close your eyes and you just fall backwards? Yeah, wrestling is a little bit more intricate than that. So what gives you the confidence to move forward knowing that's a realistic risk that you're taking every single time? That's something that intrigues me so much about wrestlers, because you almost have to suspend the belief that you can get hurt. But how do you deal with it?
Me personally, when I'm first meeting a guy that I've never wrestled before, I want to keep it as basic as possible. I don't want to do none of my flippy shit or nothing like that on the first match that I do with somebody. Now, if it's somebody I wrestled before, like El Diablo, for example, wrestled him plenty of times, we can do whatever he wants to do because I trust him. But like, say like I wrestle like, I don't know, somebody new. I'm not doing no extra dumb shit that first match. I'm sorry. Respectfully, no, I can't do it.
Well, and I'll go back to a message from just a couple of minutes ago from Herb. He's talking about when you were talking about your trainers, that tough love. I think that's part of it. I think getting training that emphasizes safety. And I've been very fortunate to watch Jude conduct many classes over the years when I was, doing commentary for the Saturday Slams, to just going and doing my homework and watching the guys work and all that sort of thing. I know how much emphasis is put on safety where you trained at XWC. So hopefully you carry that with you. And when you start working with younger talent, that's the same thing you're emphasizing to them. Like, bro, hey, let's go home like 10 fingers, 10 toes. How about that? Right? Like,
right.
Yeah. Because you probably got a girlfriend waiting for you. You don't want to have to struggle to grab things. You know what I'm saying? So to get comfortable. So I'm always big on that part. No significant injuries to this point in your career, right? You've been able to stay out of harm's way?
I blew my knee out twice.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah.
Real quick. Was that wrestling or before wrestling?
Wrestling,
But you stayed pretty active. Like, how did
I do? But one match, I did something very dumb. I didn't stretch. So I went for a frog splash. I landed. I wrestled slammer. Landed. Knee popped right out of socket. It was horrible.
Woof.
Horrible.
Woof. You hear that, Skywalker? You're talking to a guy. Hey, I just tore my Achilles less than a year ago. So when you hear a pop, I know what you're talking about, bro. Oh my goodness. Ooh, and you're like less than a year later, you're good now?
Yeah.
Oh, Skywalker to be young again. Oh, this boy bounced up from a dislocated knee. What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at it from a perspective of talking about Slammer.
And he's got hair.
Right then and there.
He's got hair too. I'm mad at this guy now. He's with the main attractions. He doesn't get hurt for real, and he's got hair. This is some bullshit. I'm mad. That's why you ain't been invited on here, bro. I'm tired of you already. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know something, Night Owl? I'm going to level with you here. And while we've had a main attraction, pun intended here, with having Blaire Dior on the program here tonight, it's now time, and I'm going to level with you, Night Owl, for all the trash, for all the goofing. Tonight, it's payback time, and it's time for Blaire Dior to show you exactly what it is when it comes to wrestling knowledge. Talking about wrestling history, the history that he's going to establish in his career, but he's knowledgeable about the wrestling industry, past, present, future. Pause.
What he said pause? Oh, I'm definitely clipping this out of the show.
Yeah, and Renee, no cheating because you already took a water break. I seen that.
What you talking about, bro? I was drinking. I was drinking Grandpa's old cough medicine all night. I just need a little water.
Luke saw it.
You want to see my sticker though? Tell me that ain't dope. It's the Sandlot kids.
That's fire.
Not dope, right? No, there's no cheating here. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. This category, every time that I have to do the challenge, I think I'm probably like lifetime. I'm probably like 50 for 80, like 80 losses, 50 wins. But every time Skywalker hosts it, it's always a topic that's going to be like right up your alley. So like whatever your favorite sport is, or whatever your favorite food is, or whatever your favorite genre of music is, or if you just happen to like say grow up in Atlanta, Georgia, all the questions are going to be about Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up down in Palm Beach, Florida. So like, what the hell would I know about Atlanta? My point is Skywalker keeps rigging it against me. He's always diplomatic. He won't cuss or nothing, but then he screws me in the end. Pause. So Skywalker, I'm watching your ass, boy. You better not screw me on BD.
Well, I'm gonna say right now, Night Owl,
on King David.
I'm gonna level with you because again, I know it's your first show back in a couple weeks, and I know you've been dealing with all the headaches with the FWWC, and I know full well that Blaire Dior is going to sweep you today on the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, and there's not going to be any more complaining or arguing. I just think the only thing that's fair, he knows what's up, You know what's up. Let's go ahead. Let's forget all the hype. Just hit the game show music so we can see the main attraction, Blaire Dior, sweep you on the show tonight.
That's fine. That's fine. That's what you're predicting. I'm sure that's what everybody that's watching. Shout out to all the folks watching us on social media, by the way. Share this thing. Hit the heart. Hit the like. Follow my man, Blaire effing Dior. That's at Wrestling's Finest, Blaire Dior, on all social media platforms. I want to say something to you, Skywalker, because I knew that eventually you were going to try to set me up for some sort of nonsense. So you know how I was putting over Miller Lite and talking about St. Louis and all this earlier? Guess what? I lied. I'm drinking Modelo, you biatch. Go ahead. Start it up. I'm ready.
Okay, let's go ahead and hit the game show music for tonight's contest, Blaire Dior and that Night Owl, guys. Let's go ahead and hit the music so we can get this ready to rock and roll.
You don't know what to do with me.
And you know what? Now we can't get the thing to work. So guess what? Here it is now. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls, and our competitors tonight are a member of the main attractions, Blaire Dior and the Night Owl, Renee Martinez. In a few moments, we're going to have a topic based on a particular wrestling category. I will give you 3 questions. When you think you know the answer to the question, shout out your answer. The first one to win 2 out of 3 falls will win tonight's contest. Gentlemen, you know what it is. I'm going to level with you here, Night Owl. You claim it's all a conspiracy. Well, I'm going to tell you right now as it stands. Tonight is not a conspiracy. It's history. And we're going to acknowledge the past right here on the program. And for once, Night Owl, so you'll stop complaining, it's going to be history talking about the CAC. You heard me, a place that you've been. There's no more complaining. There's no more arguing. I finally gave you a category that there is no complaints. There is no arguments. We're going to see, hands down, Blaire Dior sweep you. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to give you some information, and we're going to see what happens. Night Owl, are you ready?
This channel sucks. Damn it, Beavis. It's a stupid channel. I'm ready.
All right. Blaire, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. When I win, you throw up the main attractions.
All right, here we are.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I will throw up the main attractions if Blaire Dior wins. All right, show us what that hand says. Is that the M?
Yep.
Okay. No doubt. No doubt. If I win, you've got to let everybody know that the Wrestle Talk Podcast is the best damn live pro wrestling podcast in the game today. ¿Me entiendes? Do you understand that? Do you want to hit the SAP button again? Oh, Google Translate. Buddy guys, let's go. I'm ready.
Hold up. I got one better. So my understanding with the stipulations is if Blaire Dior wins, and trust me, Herb, he's going to need it. If Blaire Dior wins, the Night Owl has to recognize the main attractions. But if by some reason or another Blaire Dior does not win, he has to recognize the Wrestle Talk Podcast as the main attraction. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get this taken care of here. Question number 1. This individual has competed throughout the course of his career for pretty much every major promotion on the planet. The last place he competed has been in the last year, ending his career not in the WWE, but in AEW alongside
Sting.
Fall number 1 goes to Blaire Dior. The answer was Sting. If I would have gotten farther, he is the 2024 Mazurki Award winner for this year's Cauliflower Alley Club, which will be in August in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the Night Owl, again, is 0 for 1. Now, Night Owl, I can't throw any more of a softball question at you. Are you ready for question number 2?
Go! I'm ready, bro. Let's go.
All right. Question number 2. This individual will be receiving only the second real award from the Cauliflower Alley Club. In his long list of accomplishments, many know him from his role on Different Strokes. Name him.
Oh, God.
Different Strokes. Is Different Strokes, is that where the white dude had the 2 little boys, that he adopted the 2 little boys? Is that the show? Is that the show I'm thinking
Correct.
about?
And going back here to give you some more,
what you talking about, Willis?
to give you some more help.
Show, right? That's Different Strokes. Who the hell was on? I know.
This
Vader
individual has been on such shows as Little House on the Prairie, The Waltons, The Facts of Life.
What the hell is that?
Son of the Beach, and Celebrity Big Brother.
Man, these are all white shows. I don't watch all these white ass shows.
I'm sorry, respectfully. I don't watch that.
I'm just playing. Cat Williams has said this was a year of the truth, bro. I'm just trying to keep it a buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, since both of our contestants can't answer the question, the correct answer is Todd Bridges.
Who?
And on that note, we're going to move right along here because we're going to go to the next question.
You got me, bro.
This individual. Okay, here's the updated round 2.
I can't do
this. Individual won the 2022 President's Award from the Cauliflower Alley Club. Also competing in multiple promotions throughout the country.
Rey Mysterio?
He is known for his time in the WWE and as a former AWA World Heavyweight Champion. He is also known for his dozens of championships in Memphis. Name him.
Jerry the King Lawler.
We are now 1 fall apiece. He did win the 2022 President's Award.
You're respecting your own set, bro. Just know that. Just your own set, bro. Look
so
you got this
at this point
on me, bro. So messed up.
As these two they're fired up here. So, gentlemen, I got time for one more question. Night Owl, are you ready?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. I can't choke right now. I can't. I need to win this. This is like asking me to throw up the Raider sign or something, bro. This is mad disrespectful. I don't know why I even agreed to this deal. I don't know why.
Blaire, are you ready?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, after that second question, I don't know yet, but we'll go with it, yeah.
I don't need the stress of my life. I'm fat.
All right. Well, here we go, gentlemen. Our final question. This individual has been recognized by countless organizations throughout the country. He has been recognized for awards at the Cauliflower Alley Club. He has been recognized in several different Hall of Fames. And he has commented on tonight's interview. Name him.
Herb Simmons.
Ladies and gentlemen, by a score of 2 falls to 1, tonight's winner of the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, the Night Owl Renee Martinez.
I was a second
Where's my music, bro? Can I get my music, blood?
Go ahead. Now you can go ahead and hit your music because again, this is I gotta say is an upset. So Night Owl, hit your victory music.
Oh, baby. Let me hit this real quick for y'all, boy. There you go.
Wow.
Boom, 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 boom. Y'all got as soon as I heard it, bro.
That's crazy.
Look at all the love you're getting.
All right, now I gotta say here to give you an idea. As we're hearing the victory music, Mr. Dior heard the contractual obligation.
Turn your nose, the air with your angel has a rose. Looking right in the careers because it's 9 years, knock them dead or on.
Yeah. All right, and guess what? I'm a super duper good sport. It's Skywalker. I know you got things you got to knock out. Bro, you know what? You won me over, bro. I'm still here with you, bro. You won me over, man. I got to come over to the dark side a little bit, bro, because if you're the up and comer, then what can I say, bro? You're working with a couple of guys that I got nothing but legitimate respect for. The guys that you've decided to align yourself with in this business, bro, you've made some great decisions for yourself. And I got nothing but respect. I think it just luck at a draw tonight in the game show challenge, bro. But the way you're moving, the way you're positioning yourself in this business, you got big time players shooting you their number and all this. Bro, I got nothing but respect for what you're doing. So, man, anytime you want to spin it back and get your rematch, bro, just know I'm here for it. The amount of respect that I gained for you this evening, even throughout like the experience I've had of seeing you work, like double, bro. Like no question, bro. You handled yourself like a gentleman, like a professional, and no, of course not her. We would never forget your name. Point being, bro, it's been nothing but an honor and a pleasure for us. And even though I got the victory here tonight, bro, the real winners are the members of the Wrestle Talk Podcast family because they got to know Blaire Dior a little bit better here tonight on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, man. What can I say?
Appreciate it.
No doubt. Skywalker?
I can tell you right now, Blaire, it was one of those where just a split-second difference, but you know something, at the end of the day, you're going to hear a lot of the name Blaire Dior, and I'm going to tell you right now, even though he may be with the main attractions now, and as Dean Houston has puts it up here, this kid can go a long ways in sport. I'm going to tell you right now, he may be with the main attractions now, but you need to make sure, just like the Night Owl said at the beginning of the interview, that you're paying attention to this young man because he will soon. He won't be a part of the main attractions. He will be the main attraction in professional wrestling.
That's what we're talking about.
That means a lot, honestly.
And Night Owl, I got to throw this one at you real quick because now you know what's up. You're the one that's the host of the program. We now have a little bit of business to take care of because this is the first time Blaire Dior's been on the program. And now you can officially give him that just recognition that all of our great interviewees have a part of being involved with. So, Night Owl, I'm going to leave it to you.
No doubt.
For the formal introduction.
No doubt. And we want to give you an opportunity to make like your closing statement, anything you want to throw out there. I just want to say two things. Number one, welcome as the newest member of the Wrestle Talk Podcast family. This is officially your platform. You do not need to ask for permission to come on. Anytime you want to come on the show, bro, the first hour of the show is wide open. All you got to do is shoot me a message, be like, yo, Night Owl, I got something I need to promote. I got something I need to talk about. That first hour of the show is wide open, bro. Anytime you want to come on, no more waiting for dates and none of that nonsense. So it's official. You are beyond the velvet rope and you got your red cup in hand. You dig what I'm saying? Number two, that's right. Number two, people want to hear as far as how they can keep up with you. All your social, what you got coming up, promotions you might have just worked for yesterday, the ones you got coming up tomorrow, man. Drop all the intel for the folks because that's really what they're here for.
You can hit me up on YouTube at the. Oh, that's the guy that made the song, by the way.
Yo, shout out to Marcus.
You can hit me up on YouTube at The Real Blaire Dior, Instagram, Wrestling's Finest Blaire Dior, TikTok, Wrestling's Finest .. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry. I'm very extra. Not giving you my Snapchat. It's weird. Let's see, where else? Come to the KC shows to get your Blaire Dior merch. Mr. Close the door! I love this. And last thing, to get back on the Braun Breaker topic, I agree with you, Night Owl. That 10 was horrible.
It's crazy. You heard Dewase say, if you don't got it, bro, you don't got it. It's best not to fake it. Bro, hey, next time that you come on, let's like really dig into some of these like hot topics, right? And toss them around. I really would love to see, like, Skywalker's been doing this 35. I'm in the game about 10 years, legit, podcasting, commentary, doing all this. You're in about 5 at this point, 3 to 5, somewhere in there. So it would be really dope to throw out a bunch of topics amongst the 3 of us and see like how the different generations take on each topic. I would love to have you back for that as well, man, if you would do us a favor.
Too bad I wasn't here when they had the whole Seth versus Fiend match. I would have loved to talk about that.
Man, that would have been something else. Well, listen, last bit of business before we go. Tell people where they can see you in action next. Do you have an upcoming booking? Is there something that you want to make sure you throw out there for us?
Let's look on here. This is why you take notes. I always take notes, guys. Take notes.
And you know what? I'm going to give you actually an extra second because I got to do this before we go as well. Ladies and gentlemen who've been enduring this painful experience that is the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 483. We thank you for suffering alongside us. JK, a lot of fun. Awesome episode tonight. But more importantly, our esteemed sponsors, Royal Mills Transportation, Nobleman's Barber Lounge and KC Mo, the Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall, Interstate 70 Sports Media. Watching us there. Shout out to Carp and his team. Little Popeye Designs, and of course, the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. All I can say about the FWWC is pray for us. Big court day coming up in a couple of days. Really going to dictate the entire future of the company. So if you guys are in on that, make sure you stay locked in on that. World's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. And we're back. Blaire, go ahead. Drop it.
Well, 3 of these I can't say because they're kind of like special appearance. I almost showed you.
Woo! Share what you can.
But June 8th, I have Show Me States Wrestling. It's a new promotion in the Midwest. You'll enjoy it. We have bangers every time we've been there. November 2nd, I have Tri-States Wrestling. And then also August 24th, I have Tri-States Wrestling. So that's really all I have coming up now. I'd have open dates for any other Saturday than that. So if anybody wants to book me, I'm here.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem after today, bro. I'm going to be honest, bro. They love them some Blaire Dior, bro. It's obvious. So anyway, Skywalker, I know we got to get out here for the evening. Blaire, any final thoughts, anything you want to share with the people that have had an opportunity to watch you do your thing tonight, man, before we get out of here?
Below my Instagram.
So finest Blaire Dior. And Marcus wants to tag on. It sounds like you got a roadie, bro. You got a roadie on the team. What's happening?
I need people to ride with, so I mean, hey.
Let's get it. Blaire, you have yourself a great evening, man. Thank you so much for being here. And again, member of the fam, anytime, you just let me know, bro. We'll get you in.
All right. Appreciate it.
Peace. Adios. Peace. And that boy is on. What a show.
That was awesome. And again, that's one of those names, and I know we said it earlier on. Keep an eye on Blaire Dior. He's going to be one of those that's going to make a huge statement in the world of pro wrestling. Now, I know we got to wrap things up.
Okay.
But I want to talk about one thing we talked about before. Night Out, if you be so kind.
Got to get out of here.
I know you get. No. I want something I think the fans need to know.
Okay.
Actually, 2 things they need to know. First of all, if you go back in our production meeting, I went back, and if you can give it to where I can be on the screen, but I want to give you an idea. You want to talk about the Wrestle Talk podcast being in high demand? Take a look at some of these photos over the last few days. We went ahead and showed you just to show you how far of a reach the Wrestle Talk podcast has. So if you can go ahead, Night Owl, I put about 4 or 5 more of them up here. Let's see
real quick. All right, so just real fast, we didn't get a chance to share this during the interview, but this is Blaire's graduation picture from the XWC from 2022, coming up on 2 years. So that's huge. I know this is the Independent St. Louis Hall of Fame. Skywalker, you want to speak on this real briefly?
Well, I'm going to go ahead here real quick here as we get things taken care of here. I want to go ahead and share the information regarding this. Again, our good friend Jim Harris was at the May Day event. To give you an idea, Saturday, June 23rd, 12 noon, will be taking place at Andres Banquet Hall, 4254 Telegraph in St. Louis, Missouri. $30 ticket, food and soft drinks included, open cash bar, as we talked about earlier this evening. The master of ceremonies will be the one, the only Tyler Cooley. And again, if you look at what the names going in, the likes of Chris Guyson, Johnny Jett, Chaz West, and Moondog Rover, Winona Littleheart, Judge Tough Love, Lacey, Lunatic Max, Dump Truck Dave Perry, Extreme Kim Chi, our good broadcast colleague Patrick Brandmeier, Mr. Bibbs, and Spike Huber. And for more information, contact the Independent St. Louis Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for tickets. You can get plenty of that information available to you. And Night Owl, before we go, there's still a couple more we want to throw up here. Again, right here, Haas with Buff the Stuff Bagwell. Matter of fact, I believe he did win tag team championship gold.
A little bit for me.
Yeah,
slide to your left, Skywalker.
Hold on.
There you go.
All right, we're going to make this work one way or another here.
There you go.
There we go. We'll make that work that way. We got Buff Bagwell and Hardcore Haas this past weekend winning championship gold. This is a picture I'm extremely proud of myself and my trainer. Yes, you're right. John Blackheart right there on the screen, an opportunity to meet up with him. And again, great opportunity this past weekend. At the Night Owl, kind of hiding in the background of the picture. Our broadcast colleague, the maestro Jeremy Karp, was in attendance at May Day. We've got Big Sexy Chris Rodell. He's out and about this past weekend. I think we got one or two more up here, as we talked about before. SICW Fan Fest, which we had representation there. Cowboy Bob Orton and Randy Orton as a part of SICW Fan Fest 2. And I think we got one more, maybe two more here. Right here. Former guests of the show, Facade and Danny Moe. And I appreciate Hardcore Hoss taking this picture because I believe it's right now as it stands. She is getting ready to take part in a matchup, which is going to set a world's record. They are actually going to compete in a matchup at the base camp of Mount Everest. From what I heard here, over a mile up. And they're going to be competing inside the ring.
What an amazing talent. Her and Facade just continuing to set new precedents in the world of professional wrestling, man. What an amazing thing. What an amazing thing.
And one last thing here, as we talked about before, and we're going to bring it up here right now, the Independent St. Louis Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, as you see here right now, 2, 4, 6, 7, 28 inductees over the course of the last several years. And I mean, again, you got Herb Simmons, you've got Keith Smith, you get Dave Hebner, the Lumberjacks who've been on the program. And right now, looking at this, I think we've had most of these people on the show. I would have to sit down and actually see what we have as it relates to Keith
Smith. Hey, shout out to Keith Smith, former guest of the show. Keith Smith and Keith Smith Jr. have both been on the show. That's pretty awesome. Well, Listen, Skywalker, I'm looking at the clock. You know your boy has got some business that he's got to handle, both on a personal and a business level. I do want you to close out the show alongside the best tag team partner that I've probably ever had, because him, myself, and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that's really the guy that's coordinating and orchestrating everything here. So as I step out, let me say this. There was one question I didn't get a chance to ask Blaire Dior about. You kind of tiptoed around it a little bit, and it was the question about his faith. So since we didn't get to do snippets of truth during the show today, I have a very, very special surprise for you, including music, ladies and gentlemen, to close out today's show with the one and only Luke Skywalker Roberts, my brother, my mentor, and the Wrestle Talk Podcast very own resident chaplain, amigos, my friend and yours, Perry, Big Daddy P.
Oh, Big Daddy P, my friend, how are you doing here tonight? You are a busy man, but you always make time for the Wrestle Talk Podcast. How are you, my friend?
Better late than never. Right? Better late than never.
That is true, my friend. And like I said, we had a great show here tonight, and I don't know if you got a chance to catch it earlier on. We had Blaire Dior here a few minutes ago. One of the first questions we talked about his dedication to his family and to his faith inside the professional wrestling ring and his travels throughout this great sport we know as professional wrestling. And I got to tell you, Perry, it was really refreshing to see somebody who was very candid, very open about how how his life goes, and to see somebody be able to say something that really kind of was refreshing here on the program. And I got to tell you right now, man, we're on the road to 500. We've got a lot of things. We have the Wrestle Talk podcast has been all over the place. And I got to ask you, man, how are you doing?
We're doing good, man. Had a little bit of a challenge last night. My laptop decided to explode. And so I'm over here at the computer doctor where he's the only one that works on my equipment. So I'm very, very pleased that he's already working on it. And that's why. And then, of course, I had graduation for the 14-year-old. She just finished middle school. So now she's on her way to high school. God, Lord, forgive them, because they're going to have their hands full with her. But look, all is well, man. I am excited about show 500. I appreciate the opportunity that you guys let me on. I'm waiting for Gary Ray, actually, who's going to be here any moment, who's a Dr. Gary Ray. He's a 7th generation preacher. Oh my God, he's here. And he's right into this. And he has no idea. This is going to be so awesome. He's actually an author of a book that he's writing called Behind the Veil. And here he comes.
Well, Perry, I'm going to go ahead as we get our extra special guest here to join us on the program this evening. I got to level with you. You always talk about making sure that you take things to heart, and when things happen, they happen for a reason. And again, we talked last week off air, and I'm going to tell you everything that I was worried about when it came down to it. It was all taken care of the way it needed to be. It was all addressed. It was all taken care of. And again, it all goes back to what we talk about each and every week right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So, Perry, I know we're near the end of the program. You're taking care of things. Let's go ahead here real quick to wrap up tonight's program. Give us a snippet of truth, but also I'm going to throw it to you to have a very special wrap up here for tonight's episode. So, Big Daddy, the floor is yours.
Well, I think this is a privilege and an honor to be able to do this. I know his timing is perfect. So because God saw it fit for my laptop to explode, we're here tonight, right now. If that laptop did not explode, we wouldn't be here right now, Gary. And so it's not a coincidence that we're here, because we're just finishing up on a book you wrote called Behind the Veil. And the message of that book is so important because it looks at the condition of the church, and it's not very pretty, is it?
No, it's not. And the only hope is the church. And we pray somewhere along the line that it catches on, that it needs a vision, it needs to come alive again. We need to quit making it soft and realize that there's a heaven to gain and a hell to shun. That's it.
There is no better truth than that. So there is your snippet of truth. And now he has no idea. Gary has no idea who you guys are and what's going on. But they have a wrestling podcast, and right in the middle of the podcast, they have a moment of prayer. And so can I do that now?
Tell you what, we're going to go ahead. We got about 2 minutes left here, Big Daddy, but The floor is yours. Let's go ahead and wrap up episode 483 with the one, the only Big Daddy P.
Father God, we thank you so much for your goodness and grace. We thank you for your word. Father, I thank you for my laptop. I thank you for Computer Doctor. I thank you for Chris Sapp and his heart and his willingness to help out. Father, I can never thank you enough for your love and faithfulness. We're looking forward to the future. We're not afraid because we know that you've overcome the world. But Father, there are those out there that don't believe, that haven't put their trust in you yet. And they could be listening right now. And I just ask, Father, that you would soften their heart, that they would hear what it is that you have to say, and not only hear it and not only accept it, but be able to recognize that without them recognizing what you did, that we could have eternal life just by recognizing it. We do none of the work. You did it all. You're the one who said, Tetelestai, it is finished. And so we thank you for that. And Father, for those that are hurting right now, I pray that you comfort them, that you continue to heal them and protect them from the influence of the evil. Father, we know that that your word tells us to submit to you, resist the devil, and he will flee. He has to resist and he has to flee. We have to resist, but he has to flee because he is under your command, because you have the final authority. So I thank you for this time. I thank you for my brothers. I thank you for Wrestle Talk, and looking forward to show 500. And we love you, and we ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it can't be any simpler than that. Ladies and gentlemen, for Renee the Night Owl Martinez, this is Luke Skywalker Roberts and Big Daddy P. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you right back here on the Wrestle Talk podcast next Tuesday night. Take care, everyone. Have a great evening.
Until next time.